Welcome to December 22nd Weare Planning Board meeting. I'll open the meeting at slight hesitation, 7 o'clock. First on the agenda is a subdivision. Yeah, for Harry R. Hadley, done by Bedford Design. I'm going to appoint Ray Menard as a voting member to replace Mr. Bolton, and Paul Gagner as a voting member to replace Craig, who's had to step down. I guess, let's take a look at the application. Items 1 through 20 are checked off. On page 49. This is a minor subdivision, it's only 2 lots. The applicant doesn't appear to be asking for any waivers on the application. Yeah, it looks like everything, all the meets and bounds and areas around the lot, so. Somebody want to make a motion to accept the application as complete?
Move to accept the application as complete.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So the applicant want to describe his application?
Sure. Can I start with an apology? There was a miscommunication between my client and the owner and myself. So these have a little slight revision on them. Nothing changed in the first feet. I shouldn't have a problem with this. So the change is, the plans you guys had showed this line going the whole way back and the new lot being 20 acres.
Yep.
That was not what I was supposed to do. So I chopped it off to make it 15 acres. That's the difference.
Okay.
Very minor. I made a revision to this also. I included, I changed note number, whichever one it was, what was it? 6, because Tony called me up and mentioned that I had a typo, and the frontage said 570 something. It's supposed to be 129.30. And we set most of the monuments. We haven't set the 2 front bounds yet, because it didn't quite get time to do it that day.
Okay. This is in the,
So it's in the rural ag district. We got a variance for this sideline to be within 5 feet of the barn. I'm showing it 6 feet, just to make sure we're all set. Got 51 feet of front frontage, a little 5-foot jog. However, this is parallel and 6 feet off the barn. And coming over here, and it's going straight back for 15 acres.
yeah, because of the areas, you only need 50 feet of frontage.
Correct. And the other lot was gonna be 30-something? 28, I guess, right?
This isn't in a village district, is it?
No, rural ag.
Okay.
Oh, you guys know where it is? The cemetery, the Blackbird is right
Is that the old school?
here, then there's a cemetery
I think so.
here. You come around the hill. Then there's Harry's house, the second house on the right. If you're leaving Blackbird's going towards 114.
Correct, second house on the right.
It's not, okay.
You know where the cemetery is, right against the road.
Yep.
Then you go around the corner, the first house is here, this is the second house.
Okay.
And you got a variance for the, that's, I see the variance is 5 feet, and you've got this at 6 feet, so you've got enough room for a 12-inch roof overhang there.
Or if something happens that I did something stupid, I got an extra foot.
Yeah.
Better be safe than sorry.
So, that 6 feet that you have here, is that to the sidewall of the building, the foundation, or is it?
No, that's the eve.
That's the eave?
Yes.
Okay. Could you do me a favor?
I have an access easement.
Well, I wasn't done with the eave yet, hold on a second. Along that outline of the building,
Yes.
maybe put a note on there saying eave outline,
Okay.
just to clarify things for everybody. I know this is a question that's come up with the building department recently and often.
I think we should talk about that later on.
Yeah, we will, but for now, because we haven't yet,
We haven't talked about it yet.
just to make it crystal clear.
Yep, no problem. I was gonna mention that I have easements going back and forth. Easement over this for the owner of this house to get back to the backland. Easement over this for this guy to get back here.
Okay.
I don't think I need a shared access agreement, in my opinion, because this person is not gonna maintain that driveway.
Right, and that was my next
It's
question.
not necessary for him to access his house to,
Because
there will be an access easement, but I don't think we need a shared.
the new
maintenance
lot
agreement.
has a proposed new driveway that's not there yet, and it's not any part of the existing driveway.
Correct. Well, it's kind of there, but he drives over it. It's
Yeah, but it's not.
it's loam and grass, but,
It's grass, it's not an
yeah,
identified.
no, it's not a gravel paved or anything
Yeah.
like that.
You have a state driveway permit? Yep.
Not yet.
Okay. They're both big enough, you don't need state subdivision approval.
No.
You got a proposed well on that new lot?
Yes.
Is that the third page?
Timber.
It happens. And in the 4K, we did 2 tests back there also.
Get the wetland stamp, scientist stamp on here. That existing well, I guess,
It's the proposed, the existing one was, I just.
I'm gonna ask you to do one of two things. One, the part where it overlaps onto the new lot,
I just-
because it's not a new lot now.
Because that's the existing well.
Right now, it's part of the same lot the well's on,
Yes.
but because you're creating a well overlap by putting a lot line there, you know where I'm getting, right?
Yeah, I need to get it well release recorded.
That's what I'm thinking would be the easiest way to do it. Either to do an easement, but the well release is just already done, you just, because the one problem with the well release on this one is because it overlaps a lot line on the other side too.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It goes on to 3 lots.
Yeah,
Goes 1, 2, 3.
right.
One or the other I will do, yes.
Okay. Does everybody understand what I'm getting at here?
Talk to the owner about the well release and try to explain
The nuances of it,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm not sure we want to sign that. Haven't thought about it though.
right. The alternative is to do an easement on the part of the lot that you're creating for it.
But that's easy to do too.
Huh?
That's easy. Either one of them are easy.
Yeah. Because, he's creating a lot line through the well radius.
So technically, I'm creating a nonconformity with the well radius.
He's,
But is it to a lot line or is it to a home?
no, he's putting a lot line through the well radius.
Okay,
And the lot line, I mean, supplies the existing house,
I see.
but the new lot, the well radius part of the area is onto it. So, up until a few years ago, it wasn't a big deal, but DES is really holding people's feet to the fire now about well radius easements, and they have a document that the owner can sign, it's called a well release, which essentially, it tells the owner, look, just because your well is there doesn't mean your neighbor can't put a septic system wherever he
Within
wants on his
5, yeah,
lot.
true. yeah.
And the septic system may end up being closer to 75 feet to your well, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's essentially what the well release does. But the easement would say to whoever owns that lot that he's creating, saying, you can't put your septic system in this area, I got a well easement there.
Yeah.
That's really the difference between the two. One says, you can't put your septic system there, and the other says, you can, I'm taking the
Risk that you want.
risk. Right.
Yeah.
But, when was the well put in? How old's the well, do you know?
30 years.
Was it put in after 89 or before 89?
It's 30 years old.
Before 89. Or 80, okay.
Because 89 is a cutoff date. Anything that was put in before 89, they call those protected wells. So that you wouldn't have to do the well release, but if it was done after 89, then you would have needed a well release at that point to overlap where it is. But even if the well release isn't there, by de facto it kind of is. Because if somebody wants to put a septic system in there, and they can prove that your well, by the well log on file at the state, was after 89, the state will approve it anyway.
I don't believe there'll be a septic system put there.
No, I'm just saying that, probably not, because the lot's already built on, so very slim chance that would ever happen, but,
Right.
okay.
Do I need to record a separate document, or can this be written into the deed
You can write it into the deed.
so therefore you wouldn't see a document prior to
Well,
approval?
would need a,
So I can put a note.
Maybe a draft
I can
deed or
put a
something.
note in the plan saying such thing is going to be, okay.
yeah. That would work. For me, anyway. I know what it's for, you know what it's for, whoever prepares the deed will see that.
Yeah, I'm just seeing my note that's saying whatever it is, cannot put a septic system within X number of feet of the road. That means you can't put a septic system here, back to here.
Right, yeah.
Again.
Time for a new easel.
I'm done.
Maybe Anthony will write your
He's hanging on to
I'm
it.
just saying, I was gonna offer you to use mine when I was done, but I don't think you want to.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, I'm gonna ask the public, does the public have any questions or comments about this? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment period. How many monuments you gotta set?
2. Front bounds.
Everything else is in already?
Everything I did not mention, I should be asking you for a waiver from 3 monuments in the front.
Along that dog leg thing?
1, 2, 3, 4 here. They're all gonna be on top of the pavement, underneath the driveway.
So the one at the road,
There's the four I don't want to set would be the one at the road, the one 5 feet back from the road, the parallel, when I go parallel that to 30 feet or so.
that one at the road, could you drive an iron rod in there and drive it right down?
Maybe. It's pretty ledgy. It's frozen.
They tend to wander.
It'd be very difficult to pound anything in any of those three. There's also a drain line right there too.
And it's one that where
I
it
mean,
makes a slight bend.
there's an easement overlapping them, so I really don't see what good they're gonna do. I mean,
And that's not a curve, that L15, that's a straight line, right?
yes, 51 feet, I believe.
And there's no monument at the point of curvature of L9 and C1 either, right?
No.
That looks like it's right on the edge of the driveway,
Yeah.
pretty close. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So all four of those you don't want to set.
And by the back of the barn corner. Right where the well radius goes through the retaining wall, there's a little
Yeah, but
angle point there.
The ends of L10,
Both ends of L10, both ends of L11, both ends of L12.
yes, that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, and the PC,
PC being L9 and C1.
yes. Might be a PT. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends which direction you're going, yeah.
Everything else has been set. And noted on the plan.
There's a note on the plan about it?
Well, there's a 3/4 inch rebar set, 8/10 high with BDC cap.
Which note is that?
Oh, it's shown on the symbol.
Oh, okay. I'd really like you to get the one in by the road at L10. It doesn't need to be a mound. I mean,
Well, if I slap a rebar in there, I'm probably gonna wanna bury it a couple tenths, because there's probably gonna be a little bit of grading done in that general
yeah,
area.
which is,
So I'm
you can
still
still
gonna
find it
bury
with a metal detector.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what burying bounds is like, they break off and yeah, that doesn't work. I get that.
Plus frost, it's a pain.
Right, right.
It's gonna be bad enough setting the other two.
But if you put a piece of number 5 and number 6 rebar in there,
Put a little point on it before you start.
yeah. What's the rest of the board think about that?
L10 in? Putting L10 in?
Yeah, at the road, the one at the road. That way all the road bounds, the lot corners are in.
So how does that little jog affect driving into the barn?
It doesn't, because he has an easement over top of it.
Okay.
That's what those EL1, EL2 lines are.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes from L10, EL1 goes to the corner of the barn. along the barn.
Is that the side the doors are on, is that?
He's got doors are in the front actually, but there's a walk, you can walk underneath it in there, right there.
Oh, okay.
Need a little room to paint it too, right?
Yeah. You want to, take a piece of paper and request a waiver for the monuments?
I already got it. 1, 2, 3, 4 bounds. 3 bounds and a rebar.
No, but you wanted a waiver, right?
I want a waiver for 1, 2, 3, yes.
Just 3 monuments?
Yes. And I guess ask for a waiver for the one L10 to be an iron pin instead of, a stone bound. Or concrete bound, right? I think that's what we call for in the
I don't have any concrete, we use granite.
grant, yeah.
So it's just the 2 front bounds that you, to be set, right?
But this, it says it's 2 stone bounds to be set, is that still right?
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to have, town council review the easement language?
Did we? Did you say, did we?
No, we need to, right?
Why?
That's what we've done before.
But it's not being used for access to a building, it's being used, the access is being used for him to get to the woods.
Are you doing an actual easement, or is it gonna be right in the deed?
Probably in the deed, I would assume, but it's gonna be a separate document, it'll be
Yeah, yeah.
meaning to convey lot 32-1, also including an easement.
Is there some description here of what that easement is for on the plan?
Isn't there a legend that says access easement to benefit lot 210, lot 32 and benefit 210.32.1? Something like that, sir?
I gotta add front lot corner, end of L10, right?
It's front lot corner, so, yes, sure.
Okay. Okay, so he's asked for a to not have to monument 1, 2, 3 monuments there, the two ends of L11 and the two ends of L12. Easiest way to put it, I guess. And then the one end of L10 by the road to use a rebar instead of a granite bound. We need a motion on the waiver.
Move, we approve the waiver for L11, L12, and L10.
A second?
Second.
Second by Ray. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We got by the monument problem. I think we've gotten by the well problem, and I think the comments that the other town departments had, we've kind of addressed with the description of the eave line for the barn and the not being a common driveway, but we still need state driveway permit
That's noted.
approval, right?
That's noted number 15.
Okay. Hold on one second, let me see what else we got here. Any other, we hear from conservation or anything, Naomi, or?
Nope, names are on there. We ran out of time.
What about, how long's the driveway, Craig?
Four or 500 feet.
Do we have anything going to hear about the driveway meeting,
Note 13.
note 13? Okay. And because of the easements, everything will fit there, so
Yeah.
whatever they need to do.
Well, the turnaround or parking or anything else will be back in by the house, I would assume.
Yeah, but they'll have to do some kind of passing pull-out someplace, right?
Yeah, there's all kind of room for that right now.
Yeah. I mean, with the easements, there's plenty of room to do that, so. Wait for a minute. Well, easement, no. Building outline description.
Is that how you're gonna use that?
What's that?
You just can't put a note to say that 6 foot is off the eve?
No, he can't, but I want, that line that he's got around the whole building, I assume is the eave all the way around? Not your building?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Okay,
But I will make 6 feet from the eve. Definitely, I'll clarify that.
yeah. I just need a clarification that line is the eave or the actual wall of the building. I think that's what we're down to, right? Driveway permit, well, easement note, and the building description, building outline description.
Eve, well, note, easement, driveway permit. 4 bounds, 4 monuments.
Any other board members have any other questions? Somebody want to make a motion?
There's three things, right?
Four
It's the fourth.
monuments to be set.
I have that.
No, there's four others, other than those ones we talked about. They need to be set. Oh,
The waiver one?
no, driveway permit, the well easement, no.
Oh, isn't the driveway it already noted in number 15?
Yeah, well, I will put as a condition here, we're not gonna approve the
So that's the fourth.
plan, yeah, without having that.
I'll move we conditionally approve 65 Concord Stage Road, tax map 201-3032, with the following conditions. Set two monuments on the front bounds, a well release or easement, number 2. Number 3, that the building outline be identified as the eave at the 6-foot mark on the existing barn, and a DOT driveway permit.
Did we have to specify the iron or the
We
rebar?
did that in the waiver already.
Okay,
That's part of the
the
waiver.
waiver, all right, yep. I'm back. I second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Well, I think this is our first subdivision approval since that new
Yes.
law came into effect, right? We have to give a notice of decision. So, and we have, what, 30 days to do that notice of decision, or I forget what it is?
Yes. No, I don't think you have 30 days to appeal a decision.
Yeah, but it's, any appeal would have to be based on, the start date time would be tonight, because tonight's when we made the decision.
Correct. But the 30, your notice of decision can't be 30 days from now.
No.
because You could appeal it the same day.
I guess, over the weekend, Naomi, I'll come up with that notice of decision, because it's got to be worded kind of particularly. I've already got a couple,
We may have the conditions filled before you do that. We may have the conditions filled before you give us a notice of decision.
yeah, but I just want to, I want to have
You
it,
gotta do it,
Yeah.
because somebody might appeal it.
yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be a pain in the neck.
It's only for subdivision though?
Huh?
It's only for subdivision?
For any, site plan, subdivision, lot line adjustment. And you have to be just as careful to word it right, because an abutter or somebody that doesn't like that it got approved could appeal it just as well as a person that was denied.
Correct.
So you have to, you gotta write it, looking at both sides of the coin.
There were no abutters here tonight to.
Yeah, but you never know.
So do you have to send out a notice
Yeah,
to all the abutters?
no, just to the applicant.
Goddamn government.
Well, if they want to be really particular, why don't they have a lawyer draft a template?
Well, yeah, it would've been nice.
Yeah.
But they don't,
Yeah.
all the boards gotta do their own.
I'm waiting to move that before I go anywhere near it.
Smart man.
Probably work fine for you.
You should just clip it all together and
Yeah. Make sure I don't mix up the stuff I brought. No, the stuff I brought is there.
I thought I had a real check there for a second. Jeez. It's only 4 pages. Jeez.
Yeah, but there's two sets there. I'll fold the
Okay.
old one and the new one.
How'd that get in there?
We'll talk about that after.
I had to read it.
We'll talk about that after.
So who'd you replace me?
Paul.
So Paul's unappointed. Come back.
Fine with me. Give me a little one.
I don't care who you are, that's funny, I bet.
So the second item on the agenda is a site plan for Gutter Dunn LLC on 701 Concord Stage Road.
That's a storage facility. It's just a lot. Isn't this the car place right here? Yeah, I think so. 700?
Oh, that lot.
Yeah, it's gotta be, right?
Really?
Yeah, this is one they were gonna build a garage out back or something, or out front.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's,
so
yeah, country road back this way, yeah.
time has not been our friend. So we're having to kind of do, because of the timing of everything, we're gonna have
Nothing
to do-
personal, but you gotta wait for us to accept your application is complete.
I am
It-
apologizing.
It's all right, no problem. Everybody gets anxious, they wanna jump up and talk and stuff like that. I thought that was here. Isn't this the,
That's self-storage.
isn't this here?
Yeah, it should be. yeah. This is, what's his name? Car rental, car guy.
Yeah.
It's that small
Yeah, identified the
house
wrong site.
next to the car dealership, right? Oh, that's the mechanic place across the street,
Right.
right? Oh, that's it.
Did you have to get-
Now,
I think he's got it.
oh, that's the horse stable.
The big one down there, which
I
is
guess that's a horse stable, I
for the
think.
self-storage.
Next to the old fire station or something? They used to have a Christmas tree lot there? Yeah, some. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Guy. Mr., what's his name?
Costello,
Guess that was his first name.
Anthony, I believe. Got a question. Hope you can help us out. We just had a site plan on the self-storage units.
Okay, next door.
Yes. Isn't that here?
It's this one right here.
The little yellow house beside it.
It's in between, this is
That small or what?
77 Motors. And it's a,
Okay.
it's a. oh,
I
there's
thought
the-
the self-storage was here.
No, that's
It's
all
here?
wooded.
Okay.
Okay, good enough. That was the
Right
question.
directly next to
I
it.
saw this, like, I know where that
If
is.
you look at the next page, you'll see the
Yeah.
driveway for it.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought the lot number was off, but, okay.
So you can yell at Jacques for that one.
I believe you. Okay, I will. I'll yell at Chuck, no problem with that. Do you have a checklist? Or do I have a checklist?
There's no waivers if requested.
Geez, you like to sign his name?
Yeah. Just sign this one.
So that's what this is all about. Okay. I don't agree with what he checked, but that's all right, because somebody should be NA, that's all.
So I wonder if the first applicant was a father trying to subdivide land for his son and his wife or something? So I figured.
Well, they got to cut a tree down.
Yeah,
and
the
that's all
land's
the
the
way.
owner, he's got land, he's gonna divide something so his kid can build a house on it. Yeah.
25 feet?
Yeah, no, it's not.
It appears to be complete. I don't see anything.
He's got wetlands here and driveway, so.
We got hours of operation, that kind of stuff here. Yep. Okay.
Buffers in the middle of the driveway. So it should be a waiver.
Yeah. No, it's not a waiver, that's.
What variance?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if he wants to go for the variance first, we'll do this first.
Mr. Casello, this appears to show, well, it shows quite a bit of paving inside the 25-foot wetland buffer.
We were just discussing that right now. We got our wetland, the wetland delineation. We weren't aware that it hadn't been delineated. I received an existing conditions plan from the surveyor, and had assumed that it had been delineated, the wetlands. And as I was going through the checklist, and I wanted to get the person who had done it, he said it hadn't been looked at by a wetland scientist yet. So I think the plans were due on a Thursday, and I got wetlands mapping on Monday. So that pavement can come completely out, but it's on there for now. But when we get into the presentation, I just want to describe the situation that they're in and why we're here at this phase and not where with a site plan for a full build out.
I was just gonna ask,
Yeah, did you want to go for variance now or later, but
Now, do we do that here, or is that a zoning board?
that's zoning.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I mean, we can accept the application and then we kinda have to,
Well, could it be a conditional that the zoning, we get a ZBA variance, or take that out? I mean, it can come right out. It's not needed for this phase of the project.
Yeah, we can reconfigure it for the
Yeah.
next time we present to you.
There's a note that Josh did it, but I don't see a stamp. But Josh did flag them.
He did flag Josh Bryan from, yeah, he flagged them and Jacques located them, and we got them 3 days before the deadline. You know what that's like, right, Craig?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a question for the board. How can we accept this as complete, knowing that
We'll round it.
Be able to get it.
Craig, it's four phases to this project. They're saying that the pavement that you're talking about is in the next phase.
the pavement I'm talking
It can
about,
be in the next phase.
the pavement is the driveway coming off the road.
Well, the pavement that goes off towards the wetland,
It's the driveway coming straight off the road. You have to move your
Okay,
driveway.
part of the-
Pretty much splits the driveway in half at the
Yeah,
lot
you
line.
gotta get up, move your driveway to to miss the wetland buffer. How about if we, how do I word this?
So what is the distance?
We accept the application as complete for discussion purposes at this time.
What's this? Edge of wetland?
Yeah, I hate to do that for
I know.
discussion purposes.
I know, me too.
It doesn't mean you gotta accept it as something at some point down the road. I don't have a problem with them having to go for a variance during the process. They can take a chance when they get the variance, but
Oh, there's,
they don't need a wetlands,
No, they don't need, but they don't meet the checklist technically with that.
I don't know. Maybe ask for a waiver for that? That checklist item?
I hope.
Is it not a checklist item?
No, it doesn't say it. But it doesn't meet zoning. How about if we accept the application complete with a provision that the driveway will be the
I mean,
encroachment,
we're not gonna approve it until
the
everything's.
encroachment into the wetland buffer has to be, what's the word I want? I was gonna say rectified, but that doesn't sound quite right.
The variance and mitigated.
I make a motion to accept the application as complete with the knowledge that the disturbance within the wetland 25-foot, within the 25-foot non-disturbed wetland buffer is either gonna have to be, a variance got to be obtained, or it has to be relocated. With that understanding. Does that make sense?
it's gotta be dealt with.
Yeah, it's gotta be dealt with, for sure.
It's not a checklist item, so it's not like we could ask them for a waiver for it.
I can't ask for a waiver from a zoning, anyway. But we should at least, if we accept this complete, we can talk about it at least.
Second.
Discussion, I'm still thinking, that's why. Well, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Okay, now somebody can speak. Come to the podium, please, state your name for the record, so Naomi doesn't miss it.
My name is Anthony Costello. I'm with AC Engineering and Consulting, and I'm here with Jessica and Carl Bailey, owners of Gutter Dunn LLC. I want to give you a quick overview as to why they're here. They currently run their business out of their home in Dunbarton, and due to some zoning issues, they've been asked to not run their business out of their house. And unfortunately, they've got inventory on the property, and they need to get the inventory off of the property into a new location. And they purchased this property to put a new building, which isn't shown in this. We didn't have time to get the site plans together for a larger project. So we tried to put something together so they get a covered shed approved, so that they could put their inventory on the site while they go through the site plan process for their larger building that's going to be out back. So they had gone to the building inspector to try to get a building permit, and the building inspector said, well, if this is going to be a part of a bigger project, you need to go to the planning board for site plan approval. So that's why we're here, is we're trying to get plans together or approvals together so that they can get that building put in, the storage shed, so that they can move their inventory from their existing building location here in Weare. So The property is located between Route 77 Motors and the storage shed on Concord Stage Road. And there's an existing one-story ranch there that was, I don't know, a two-bedroom residence. And they're going to renovate that into some office space where they're going to run the main office parts of the business eventually. What you're looking at there, let's flip over under this here. This is a markup of the existing conditions plan, the red being the existing building, the blue being the setbacks. There's an existing driveway, gravel driveway that's coming in to the right side of the building. We've got the wetlands on the side, and the buffer, and then the building setbacks over here. There's an existing culvert that goes underneath the road, that goes into a ditch on the side of Concord Stage Road, where the water collects, and there's another driveway culvert on the property where the self-storage unit is. So what they would like to do is add a 560 square foot shed building. I think we've got pictures of, there's a three-dimensional model of it. It's in the application package, and it's on an 8.5 by 11. We're located in this spot here to the left of the existing house. As we discussed earlier, we're willing to do anything to try to get this approved so that they can get a truck in here to be able to back up and unload their inventory into the storage shed. So we could eliminate this parking here and this parking over here if it helps in the process.
Are they gonna move their office there, like when they build the shed? Is that gonna be like simultaneously happening type of thing?
Now, they'll be running it, you're gonna move the inventory and then running the
Yeah,
office?
So we're seasonal, and we start back up.
Come to the podium, please. We have a large TV audience wanting to hear you.
Sorry.
They want to hear every word you have to say.
Hi there, my name's Carl Bailey, and this is my wife Jessica. We're the owners.
Hi.
We've got her done. And like she was saying,
Sorry.
what was the question? I'm sorry.
I lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're seasonal, and we're off-season during the winter. So we're trying to accomplish this over the winter before we actually start back work. The girls usually come back to the office mid-February, and the guys start up in March. So the idea is to try to get the inventory, as he was saying, over to the building so that the guys can start for March, and have the renovation in the existing building done, so my girls can start in February over there.
Basically, the hope is that, we would make it look, appearance-wise, everything would look nice and, landscaped, and
And the
just,
shed
it's gonna look nice when we're done.
The shed is kind of a temporary thing,
Yeah.
so that we can then have the time to build the building in the back. And then the inventory and stuff would move to the back.
What would become of that shed then?
Well,
Probably gonna be
at this
taken off
point-
the property. I'm not 100% sure.
I
It might.
think the long-term plan is to eventually either move it or possibly build something else there, in the future. Yeah. And those plans can change or as necessary, whatever we need to do.
His,
14 by 40, yeah.
I think, the time, you're really in the time crunch here to accomplish what you wanna do in that time frame with what you gotta do there. And it's because of that wetland buffer impact. I think you need to get on the ZBA schedule
As soon as possible.
as fast as you possibly can. Because to rearrange this driveway and everything, I think we're better off kind of working with you on the premise that you're gonna get the variance, but you have to get the variance.
Yep.
Because to do anything else, it's gonna require a new state driveway permit and relocate, which may not happen.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, well, the wetland is, I mean, I was out there, I looked at the ditch, and I just assumed when I saw it there, I said, well, it's a man-made ditch, so maybe it's not a wetland. I mean, I'm not a wetland scientist. I'm not gonna question them, and then, like I said, the wetlands came in on a Monday, and they actually, that driveway had gone through where some of the wetlands were, so I had to tweak it on that parking lot. And that was put there mostly because the new building is gonna be towards the back, and that's gonna be the access. And we, due to the location of an existing well,
Yeah.
we had to go around the well rather than go through the
What you're
house.
describing, you need the parking for the employees, you need, I mean, for February and March, so you've got no time at all to waste here.
Right.
Well, one of the things is that the paving itself doesn't actually have to be done for us to start our season.
No, exactly, but it does, parking is impervious whether it's paved or not. And the encroachment in the wetlands buffer is there whether it's paved or not.
Yeah, the existing driveway encroaches into that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not as significant.
No, it's not as
Yeah.
significant, but.
What are you looking up?
Parking in the front setback. Thought you needed a special exception.
My zoning book is in the front. Probably ought to look at it, 'cause I'm gonna need it.
This part of the driveway.
It's already in the
already in the
wetland,
buffer.
yeah, like the way that they,
That's the problem. Just
Do we need to identify this as phase one?
Unless we move this whole thing over this way.
right, which the
No, they can just come in for an amendment later,
So now we're.
because they don't know what it's gonna be yet.
oh, yeah.
Usually if it's
Which
phases,
changes things.
you have some approval what's gonna happen. in
But
phase
that's
two.
doable,
That's easy to
right?
do.
Just changing the angle
They
right.
do yet.
And we can do that, we can get
Change
that
of
out of
use.
the
Let's do
buffer.
that, yeah.
Commercial
We should be able to
zone
adjust
commercial, I think,
things.
already, right?
Zone commercial, but it's for residents right
Yeah, but they're just bringing it to they're changing it to
now, office.
allowed use
Yeah.
in the zone. I mean, they'll never make it back into residential, if they do that.
Correct.
We have to fall back.
We're okay with changing, relocating that.
Well, I was just thinking about a couple of other properties where we paid, declared that it was a change of use.
You know, when this is completely allowed.
Okay.
Can you find it?
No, I didn't find it. Maybe I'm dreaming it.
I didn't think we had a problem with that.
I thought you needed a special exception, but I don't see it. There it is. 20, Article 24.8 on page 32. And I'm gonna, ample parking spaces shall be provided on the premises to accommodate vehicles of customers, visitors, and employees, and such spaces shall not be closer than the setbacks established in 24.5 and 24.6, which is the front and side setback, without a special exception. So you gotta go to the zoning board for a special exception for the parking in the front,
So, okay, so it's not a variance, it's a special exception, okay.
Correct.
So that's easier.
Is that for the wetland?
That's for parking, that's for parking in the front setback,
And the side setback.
in any setback.
Looks like it might be in the side setback.
Yeah, I assume that's right on the
Our
side.
parking is listed. It's mostly just the access road.
Yeah, actually, he's got that right on the, this corner might be in the side a little bit, because it comes out.
Either way, you got 50 feet here.
Right.
We should talk about some kind of landscaping in the front also. 'Cause it appears you got about 6 feet of room. And there's no landscaping there right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's wide open.
Yeah, we were thinking of putting, maybe like a berm with, some trees or
Fine.
bushes and bark mulch and stuff.
Actually,
Think it would,
setback is that steep setback, so can we do
right?
landscaping within that area? Or can we don't
Well, the
get
building,
much
this
at all?
setback, this setback is a town setback, even though it's a state road, it's a
Right.
town setback from the right of way.
Right.
So.
Because the
So
road
you can
starts
do-
25 feet away from where that blue line is, right? that's where the road actually is.
This is the road, right of way, I mean, it's huge.
Right.
Yeah, the right of way is, that's what I'm saying, is within that right of way. or
We don't do any
You can't do anything
landscaping.
inside of here.
Right, in
That's
there.
what I'm asking.
He's saying in that 5 or 6 feet there.
I do have a question. This was probably this summer, we had a site walk out there at self-storage. The ice cream stand was open, I know that. I thought there was a pipe sticking out of the bank. I didn't think it was that one. I thought it was more towards the self-storage, more than 90 degree. Basically, right where you showed the electrical wire, but if you go, yeah.
And you see right here, there's an outlet for an 18-inch culvert here. Looks like it's about 10 or 15 feet.
Here. It's 6 months ago.
It could probably, do you think it was a
I
drain?
thought something came from the house.
Could it be a drain pipe for the foundation drain?
Maybe. I'm thinking something like this was all it was.
Were they doing something right in here for the self-storage?
Just some trees.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's what I thought.
And
Yeah.
nothing on that side, I don't think, I think.
You're right over in the front corner by the self-storage where the self-storage driveway is?
Yeah.
Right in the corner of the lot?
Yeah, it's real close to the corner of the lot.
Yeah, I think the self-storage new site plan, they're doing some plantings right there?
I don't know, I didn't see any when I was out there.
No, they haven't done anything yet, obviously. We just approved them like last month. Because when we were out there, we noticed that when your lot was graded last year, I mean, you didn't do it, it was the previous owner. They graded right over the lot line.
Oh, definitely over the lot line.
Yeah.
But I thought I saw a pipe in there. I might be mistaken. 18 inches. I was thinking 4 to 6 inches, but I don't remember now. Sticking way out of the ground, you couldn't miss it. Maybe that was it.
What, does it say that there's a 4 to 6 inch pipe? Is that what you said?
From memory,
From memory.
I just remember seeing that. That's kind of weird, and
Yeah.
didn't think any more about it.
Maybe it was an extension of the foundation drain or
Yeah,
something.
it could be, but it was, you and I talked about it.
Yeah, probably an extension of the footing drain.
Probably. I'd like to see some pretty decent landscaping along the frontage of this. I'm not trying to say,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you invisible. I'm just trying to say there's not even a blade of grass there right now. so-
Yeah, no, it's an eyesore right now.
And
I'd
this-
like to make it look nice.
And the slope here is towards where you, like between the dumpster and the front lot line. You've got that dumpster pad or whatever, proposed screen dumpster pad.
Yeah, just in that corner.
Yeah, in that corner, because the abutter's doing something in that corner
Yes.
too, so,
On the front.
yeah. I think he's going down there, he's doing something,
You got a swale over
swale
there.
in there. And he's gonna grass it all anyway for that swale, I assume.
So you got a detention pond / swale along the western property line, basically.
Yeah. And the outlet to that is it's a 6-inch pipe.
It's draining right towards the self-storage.
Yeah, and there's already a drain in that area. I walked down the driveway to see where the water was coming out, and it's in that area, and it's a little bit, it's not eroded, but you can see that that's where the water goes. So the idea is to just send the water there, and the most that'll come out is whatever a 6-inch pipe will allow out. And that'll hold all the water for up to a 50-year storm.
But you're directing it onto the self-storage, which appears to be real close to that big building they're proposing. There's a bit.
Yeah, it comes down, then there's a ditch that runs along the uphill side of the driveway.
But then it has to all go towards the back, right? Because
Yeah.
it doesn't shed across their yard.
No, it doesn't. It goes down to the ditch, it comes along the back, and then it curves around and runs parallel to the back property line, and then dumps out about halfway down that property line.
Instead of dumping it straight up there, could you go up that way with it?
Well, that's gonna be the intent when the rest of the project gets designed.
Because I mean, right now, you've
Is-
got this thing coming right out here.
Yeah, but this is where there's an existing, if you see the existing contour, this is where the water goes right now, as it is.
Well, yeah, but you're gathering all this water and putting it here.
Right.
This water goes here, now.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to, it hits here and then it comes down the same area. So rather than having it do this and then coming down, it's coming in here and then it's trickling out through this little pipe, coming down an existing.
You doing a
It's
weir,
just-
you doing a weir or something? Or just-
Yeah, well, there's an emergency spillway
You got a 4-inch PVC and a.
right here. So it's
emergency-
only a 4-inch, yeah, so it's a tiny pipe. It's only letting whatever 4 inches will let out of the pipe. And the spillway doesn't see anything.
This is what I'm- So what's your grand plan? You've mentioned a couple times you wanted to do something back here.
We haven't come exactly to an agreement on what we'd like to do. I know what they would like to do out there. We'll go back to the existing conditions plan. So they talked about putting the building back here in the back property line with the road that comes through.
It's more or less, I think at this point, we're gonna be doing
Okay, that's,
courts right here.
yeah,
And then, we'll be able to have more of this, just,
first detention, that's where we
Correct.
talked about
yes,
getting all the water back to this part of the property. Even from this first phase, to get it ditched down along here to a larger pond down in here, which gets it to the back of the lot, and gets it drained out behind all the existing buildings.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, you wanna get in there before you pave anyway? Probably before we can pave again.
If there's any way to do, a very small amount of paving just in front of where the temporary shed's gonna be, because we have a forklift.
Well, you're probably not gonna be able to buy any asphalt until April,
Yeah.
Right,
so,
when we can.
okay.
We have, the aluminum comes on rolls and it's extremely heavy and you have to use a forklift to lift it. So, we'll be trying to get at least a patch put down as quick as possible so that the forklift can put the rolls on the
Like,
trucks.
probably put coal packs down or something.
Yeah, I can figure out a way. If I have to, I can figure out how to get those,
So-
rolls on there without the forklift, whatever we have to
It
do.
may help if,
Lots of frost
yeah,
until mud season hits.
for that retention basin and everything, I mean,
I don't know how fast you're wanting to do all this, but you're gonna need at least go to the zoning board for the front parking in the front setback and the wetland buffer. Unless you move everything out of there.
Again, the goal is to have, everything kind of working towards having it being done in February, I think is our hope. So that, by March, we've got our material over there.
So when you add on in the next section, you're gonna put your building, which is gonna be bigger than what you're proposing for a shed.
Yeah.
Yes,
Back in this area.
And you're not gonna have parking back there per se.
there'll be a little bit just for the guys, but all the girls are gonna park up front near the office, and there'll be a little bit for the guys. Right now, we have a crew of 10 to 15, so it's not a huge amount of people going in and out, and there's no customers back there at all.
Yeah, we don't get customers on site.
So that's gonna affect, if you're gonna pave you're gonna need to pave in front of that new building in the back. So that's gonna affect your water.
Right.
where you're gonna
And
put
and
all
we'll
the
deal with
water.
that when we come to that phase, which will probably be a detention pond
Yeah.
in this area here. And we might tie the runoff into this back there if we can get it there. So if we eliminated this row of parking here, would we need to get a variance for this parking with just the road inside the setback? Or is it just parking that can't be inside the setback?
I believe it's just the parking. I need a new book. Naomi, when's his next zoning board meeting?
So you would put a special exception.
The first Tuesday?
Second.
Oh, second Tuesday. So it's the 10th?
You could pay this here, and just take out where the
But the
lines are.
deadline's already by.
This
Oh, I missed the deadline? So you're talking, okay.
Like,
Well, this will be- this will
50
probably be
feet from the
Main
front.
It's ideas, if the answer is no, then the answer is no, it's
Right.
fine.
Where
Like,
does
we're
that
just,
start, where does that start?
just
Beside
throwing
the
ideas
road?
up as to what will work, and if it
Right.
can't
We
work for you,
just
then we
need to
can't
get the-
propose it.
We just
And then
need to
we
go
move,
to the
you know,
zoning
try to do
board
something
and
else.
ask
we move.
for-
All it says is parking.
Just parking, okay. It just gives us another option.
We
I
could,
mean,
like,
if you
so
say-
that's an option, is that we could just get rid of
Yeah.
that parking if we had
If
to.
we got rid of, I mean, this is like the worst case scenario, we get rid of this parking, we relocate this over to here, we bring this into here, and we eliminate that.
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't need any ZBA approvals, but you're losing a lot of the parking.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, that stinks.
I just mentioned, Naomi, the next zoning board meeting is January 10th, but you already missed the deadline for that. So next zoning board meeting is the second Tuesday in February,
No,
which,
first Tuesday. The only reason January
Oh,
is
that's
the
right.
second because of the holiday.
February, so first Tuesday in February.
Seven.
And when is the deadline to get the stuff to them or
Special
whatever?
request.
Like a week or two before that?
No,
probably the
Theirs
17th?
is different. Theirs is, your deadline would be January 9th, because they're the first Monday after the first Tuesday.
But that's,
So January 9th will be your deadline, and February 7th will be your
Just
meeting.
for the
this
special
is a
exception.
paper. It's just.
So that would get you to the ZBA in February, if you want to go that direction.
We probably will at least try.
Because that doesn't get you built, that doesn't get you built in February, because you're not gonna get our approval, if you're gonna stick with this,
right,
you're not gonna get our approval until you get the ZBA
right,
approval.
right.
So we wouldn't be until end of February at the earliest.
So you
Just-
wanna be on theirs in February as well, on theirs.
So here's my advice. We relocate the driveway, we get rid of this, we get rid of this. You're stuck with that pavement, so we can go through this process and they can give you
Oh, to start with,
something.
So we can
And
do
then
that.
we go back to
Sorry.
ZBA, and then if we get an approval, we come back to this plan
Back to
for
that one.
amendment to
because we
the,
could continue this till our meeting in January. And if you have the plan
Move forward.
revised,
yeah.
I can't
The
even
only-
buy the building.
the only thing we
until-
were hoping to do is have the excavator, you know, get started and like, you know, even like maybe, I don't know if there's trees that need to be removed or anything, you
No,
know,
it's
just get started.
It's the rock retaining wall, get that set up so that we can actually put the new.
And get things close to grade, or if they're not, I just don't know where grade is exactly, you know.
oh, it's lost.
So I think I would like to do that. Can we propose that?
Yeah, just eliminate all the stuff that's
Eliminate
inside
all
the
stuff
buffer,
that's
relocate
inside
the driveway.
For right this minute, then we'll do the zoning board and see what they say, and then we'll go from there.
So I just have a question. I know this whole curb thing is a big deal with the, with the state.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to move that, right? We could just change the angle of the
Yeah,
driveway
yeah.
around the buffer, eliminate, the parking spaces that are inside the buffer.
Yeah.
And that would be, and that's what you're saying?
Try to keep the same curb
Just for,
cut, yeah.
for now, we
Right.
can always change things later
Yes.
if we get a, that would be great.
You have to recalculate your parking.
Next question, so what would you guys qualify this as far as for parking spaces? We've got a storage shed, and we've got the office. Would you use the office space calculation? I think it's 1 per 300 square feet, or is there a different number you'd like us to use? And what would the shed count as? 'Cause I don't think, I would call it warehousing, but I don't think there's a warehousing,
It's just a garage, basically.
yeah.
I don't store my tools there.
You could probably squeeze a couple extra parking spots over by that shed if you wanted to.
Yep.
Yep.
Probably right
Yeah,
along the
we
front,
probably
Right in
will.
front of it.
Yeah.
right along the
we-
front.
Almost certainly.
So how does this fit into our site plan? Parking regulations. Office load volume,
It's office space, right?
so 1 per 300 square feet,
Which is what he had on there
which is what he had,
for
yep,
the 3, right?
yes. But you gotta have one per employee.
Well, do they, you have to have that? I just put that on there. I didn't see that in the regulations.
I
I mean,
don't
it makes
either- I
sense
don't
that you need
either,
one
but-
for every.
Do any employees take company vehicles home, or they all drive to the?
Well, me and her live at the house. I mean, we live
There's-
together, and then my sons both
1,
live there
2,
too, so.
3, 4, 5. There are 6 employees coming from the same house.
The same house.
But how many cars they leave in the yard?
2, probably.
We probably,
Take guys and
I'll
I'll
be
take
taking
girls.
4 guys with me over, you know,
So you don't have, you got 10 employees, but you don't have 10
Well,
employee
we have-
cars sitting there.
No.
Right, no.
We can't assume that those same 10 employees will be working with them 5 years from
Right.
now, and therefore the parking is gonna be okay.
No, I know
By
that.
then, the
so-
back's gonna be built.
Oh, yeah, but you may not do that, as far as I know, you may just walk away after this and say, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But does it say in there about
Yes.
employee parking? What's it say?
Sufficient off-street parking must be provided for the anticipated use to accommodate both employees and customers so that no parking is forced onto public streets or nearby properties.
Yeah, it doesn't say 1 car per employee.
Nope, it says adequate, sufficient.
Yeah.
Is this office space considered retail?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't
No.
think so.
She said they don't sell out of there.
like, do we sell things on
It
site?
says office low
No,
volume
no,
included,
I
but not
mean,
limited to
it's-
Customers
construction.
aren't coming to look at
It's-
product or production.
It's something we would probably entertain in the future, but not right now.
If the customer stops by to pay a bill, that's not
So it's
retail.
1 per 300.
Yeah. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it if we decide to change that.
It says reasonable for employee, right? We can talk
Sufficient.
about
I think
what they
what's
have
nice for the
sufficient,
next
yeah.
phase is that you put the front and the back.
You work out of your house now?
Front.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we're
How many
outside.
employee cars are in your driveway during the day?
2, 3, 4, plus mine, plus ours, you know, our vehicles, but,
Well, your vehicle's because you live there, but if you were driving here and you weren't living there, then
yeah, there'd probably be like 6 or 7, just a guess, at this point. And then later, you know,
that
years
includes,
from
that
now.
includes the office help?
Yes.
Yes, office and, you know.
Well, you said you had 12 guys working for you and 3
A to-
office people.
a
That's
total-
that's 15
total.
people.
That's when you count us.
Okay, that's
So there's
still-
10, there's 10 plus us,
You said 12, you said
12
12,
people. That's
12
us.
guys and 3 office girls.
No, no, 2 of us and 10 people total. There's 12 of us total. There's
4 office girls,
4
including myself.
office girls, including her,
Okay.
and 8 guys that work outside,
Including me.
including me.
Do any of the employees take company cars home at night, or they all stay at your place?
I mean, I do.
Like a pickup truck or something?
Yeah, my
or-
truck I would take home. I would take home, that would be the company vehicle.
But what we were saying is that, so one of the office girls
How-
is my daughter-in-law, and she lives with us, and she would ride over with me. So that
But that,
eliminates
you know,
one,
but
and
even
then
so,
he has-
even so, how many parking spots?
If you eliminate all the ones along Route 77, you got 10 other ones
10 other ones? Oh,
around the
that's-
building.
That's like
I
perfect.
think you need 3 or 4 more personally.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't count that one.
5, 6, 7, 8,
I missed the
9,
handicap.
10.
That's the, you wouldn't go this way?
Well,
Can't maneuver. You won't
Yeah.
wanna
Oh,
back
okay,
out.
understood.
I missed the handicap one, 11.
Do you allow double stack parking at all?
like one in here, one
Yeah,
behind it.
correct.
Well, how about we put it this way? You're gonna be making massive changes to this plan by moving the driveway, getting the driveway or
Out of the
pavement out of
buffer.
out of the wetland buffer,
Hopefully that's,
which could end up eliminating these 5 spaces real quick.
So, Dayton, You're gonna have pavement on this end of the building too?
Yes.
So they get two spaces there at least,
Yeah.
if that's the design of the building.
But they're in front of the they're in the front setback.
Yeah, they can't do any parking there.
I think he's talking about the
That's
side.
50 feet.
I think he's talking about the right side where I've got the loading space.
Where the yellow is. That's the
Oh,
front of the
yes,
building.
yes, you can put a couple here, yes.
Yeah.
But you're gonna lose these 5
That's, we can still get 10 though, I
and
think.
these.
I think we
Yeah.
can still get 10 spaces.
How's he losing the 5 up here?
He has to move the road.
Once he has to be out of that buffer, he won't be able to get there.
So I can't go, oh no, because this is here. I was gonna say I can't go.
You know what I mean? Everything to the east of the well
If that
is in the buffer, so how are you gonna get to here?
So they might get 2 spots up there
I'll
like
get
this
rid
or
of that deck
something,
and
but
go
that's
on
it.
that side of the well.
Pardon me?
Can't you go on this side of the well?
That's his problem. Then you're losing this one.
Yeah, but so why couldn't they just add more on the left side of the building?
So, they got 12 people.
I might not be able to maneuver. We'll see.
Well, he has to come back with a,
He's gonna come back with a whole new design.
Right.
And
We should probably give him a goal, how many parking spots to shoot
Making
for.
that turn might be.
I see what you're saying.
Then you
He's saying he
you
got
need like
13.
22 feet. You're gonna need your parking space, then 22 feet behind it.
he's saying he needs 13.
Yeah, no,
Well, that was-
that's it. You're gonna keep throwing out
That
ideas.
doesn't say 1 per person.
Is
there.
there a
It says
reason they can't
sufficient.
put some couple
Sufficient, right?
spaces behind the shed?
Yeah, is there any reason we couldn't put a couple
Down here?
spaces
Yeah.
behind the shed?
Slopes off as much.
What's also inside the setback.
Can you
How
get us
about, I mean,
10
on the,
on your redesign, would it be possible to
Yeah.
get 10 parking spaces on pavement and then show some additional overflow parking on grassed area type thing?
Sure.
That way you don't have to pave it right now, you don't have to mess it, that way it's easy to rip up in the future if you go to do something different.
Nice,
Not in the
yeah.
front
That's
setback,
a good
obviously.
idea.
Would that make sense to the board?
Yeah.
We got us 10 parking spaces, which they think is adequate for now, but showed additional future spaces someplace.
What about the double parking idea? Because we could also do it where the handicap is too, so that would, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that gets us 9 just in this area here. And then we could add 2, we can add here,
Yeah.
so we could get
At least.
12 and paved it, and then even more than that, if we could double stack here. So we double stack here, and here we could get 15 plus. If that makes sense.
well, how,
And again, this is just to get us through till the.
but how many,
So everything's signed back.
they're not gonna have that many people parking there. It's got 4 people working in the office on a regular basis. Everybody else is leaving town when they load up their truck.
The employees all leave in company vehicles, or they take their own vehicles to the
No,
job?
they leave in the company vehicle
Okay.
with us, yeah, we leave as a group, two groups typically.
So them parking, like he's saying, behind each other isn't a big deal because they're coming and going at the
Yeah,
same time.
right.
Same time, you're gonna be moving all this pavement, and eliminating all this pavement. So
Right.
you got a lot of things you can, a multitude of things you could do
Change, yeah.
Right.
We can
to get 10 parking
Adjust.
spaces, so
Yeah.
I think we can make it work.
that's your job. It's not our job, it's your job.
Well, I appreciate all you guys' help.
Other than that, there's not much more we can discuss because of the changes he's
Yeah.
got to change there.
Again, I'd like to see some,
Bushes, yep.
yes. No cedar trees that the deer can eat the bottom out of, don't put those in there.
Cedar?
Yeah, because deer will eat the bottom of them, they look ugly, and they look ugly.
Huh.
Do you guys have a list of trees in your regulations? I thought, no.
Maybe, I don't think so.
Probably just do some flower bushes.
What?
You don't have to plant so many trees that you hide it. We're not trying to tell you you gotta hide the business from everybody. You just wanna make it look good.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Just add something to break it
Well,
up.
we want it to look nice too. I feel like right now, the way it looks is, stands out.
It's a moonscape.
Yeah.
And if you got a sign you're gonna put up somewhere, just show on here where you're gonna put it.
We definitely want to put a sign for sure.
So make sure you get that with,
So I'll.
He
help
asked
you.
about a sign, and
Yeah.
I said, yeah, we definitely want to put a sign for sure.
Well, that, yeah, you were talking about that for phase 2 though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the final, when we present our
I
final.
don't know anything.
It'll have
I'm
to
really
be
good
done.
at doing gutters though. really good. But I don't know anything about this stuff, so I appreciate you guys working with us.
So what do you wanna do? You wanna come back in a month with this, without going to the zoning board and get something?
I think we're gonna do both concurrently.
Come back in a month, reduce this, come back in a
We'll
month.
change this, like this will get saved. I'll relocate the stuff in case we don't get a ZBA approval. And if we get what we've talked about tonight approved at the next meeting with you guys, conditioned on a ZBA approval.
I'm not,
We're not-
I'm not gonna vote for conditioning something, approving something on a
I
condition
mean,
of
Yeah,
ZBA.
I said that, I
Right.
misspoke. We relocated so we can do everything without getting the ZBA approval. We get a plan approved with you guys
Without needing ZBA.
without needing a
Right.
ZBA. If we
But then
go
we're
and get
still
the
gonna go for a
ZBA,
ZBA.
we can
Right.
come back to you for an amendment to our approved site plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's it,
Okay.
yeah,
We
you
can
gotta-
come back with this plan.
Because once we approve something that's
Mm-hmm.
reduced here, you have to do a new application as an amended
Okay.
plan.
Yes.
But at least, once it gets approved, you can start getting your building in place,
Yes.
which is the key.
I do have a question. Are we allowed, I don't know, are we allowed to, like, if we are in the future gonna build in the back, you know, are we allowed to take out some of the trees and stuff there and
We can't do that till everything's been approved in the back.
you can, like, taking out trees and stuff?
Correct.
Okay.
Are you allowed,
She said no.
are you allowed to cut down trees? Yes.
Yes.
Are you allowed to pull the stump, start building something? No.
So we can go in the back and start doing clearing?
How's
You
that?
can cut,
I wanna
you can
make
cut the
sure.
You can
trees.
cut all the trees
But you
down.
can't-
When you start,
The
when you
stumps
start
up.
clearing, when you start pulling the
Oh,
stumps and
but you can't
grubbing,
pull
that's,
stumps.
that you're,
Gotcha.
yeah, you're getting,
Okay.
you're gonna need something
I
for us.
understand.
Okay.
So that makes
But we can
sense.
at least tell the guy that he can cut trees down.
They just can't pull the
Right.
stumps yet.
So does the board feel comfortable that this is a doable project with getting a building in? I mean, if you, I know it's a long lead time for you guys to order the building, right?
4 to 6 weeks to get it in, so it's not that
yeah,
bad.
That's not that bad, okay, never
No.
mind. If it was gonna be like 3 months, I was gonna say,
No, they, well, I
Where
mean,
is the septic?
if they can approve the size and everything of it
Future.
so that I can at least get it ordered,
Okay.
that would be
Yeah.
helpful.
I know it's not Friday, they bulldozed all that last summer, 2 summers ago, whatever the hell it was.
So it says it's a pad, is that gonna be concrete? Underneath the shed?
Underneath the shed, is it paved? He's asking me.
Is that paved? Is
Oh,
it
it's
paved
probably
or is it
concrete.
concrete? I would
Usually you
assume
put
that
concrete.
I think we're just gonna do concrete.
Yeah, because when can you start pouring concrete?
And so it may not be, because
Pour
we-
concrete all year round.
You can do that
Well,
anytime, if you insulate it right.
I don't know, I just had a guy try and dig a hole and he couldn't dig the hole.
pavement, just pavement.
We just take out a footing
Right,
today.
right, right. Yeah, the concrete you can do with calcium chloride.
Yeah, and put insulation blankets over top of it to keep it from freezing, and concrete keeps itself warm and all that kind of stuff.
So whatever we have to do, that's what we're gonna do.
Yep, I think you got,
Somebody coming back in January,
yeah,
12th, or the second one?
And when do revised plans need to be in? Is it 3 weeks before the meeting or 1 week? Every town's different. Sometimes it's 4,
we gotta get the other departments to review stuff, at least 2 weeks, right?
Okay. As long as it's not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Personally, I can wait, I can wait a week. What kind of screening you're proposing around your dumpster?
It's a fenced, it's, I think there's, is there a
Chain
detail
link,
in it?
chain link with
No,
slats in it?
Well, I've got
Yeah, like-
vinyl,
Vinyl stockade?
white vinyl.
Vinyl.
A pretty white vinyl.
Yeah, nice. Like,
It'll
Say
be
what you're gonna
nice
put.
to hide it.
Instead of
Okay.
saying screening fence, tell me what kind of
it
fence.
says.
It might be on the, there might be a detail for
I
that.
looked at that, I didn't see it. Doesn't mean it's not there.
No, it's not on that page, it's gonna be on the 2 pages. Keep going on,
Not that way.
keep going, one more.
I hate details.
Me too.
You just want it closed so nobody can even see it. Want to look?
Dumpster pad detail.
Nothing.
Associated screening.
What we want?
I was snoozing on that one.
All right, so it's gonna be added to that, some kind of a,
There's a fence around it.
Associated screening, what's that?
It'll be hidden regardless.
Nice.
Dumpster pad.
So it doesn't need to be added.
it's just a note.
It's up to
Yeah.
the board, but I'm gonna go out there and look, because I
Just
have,
put a note.
I'm concerned about that pipe I
It
remember
shows the
seeing.
fence, but just needs to-
And I wanna see where this is gonna go in relation to the self-storage. The water coming into that basin, to the basin in the back that flows out. I wanna see where that goes in relation to this. I'm not saying we want a site walk, but if you do, we can do one. I'm gonna go look at it. I'm confused.
What's these two pipes here that are referenced here?
Yeah, that's 18 inch.
Yeah, that's an 18-inch HDPE, but I remember something, I remember seeing it sticking out of the ground. This has an invert of 531 and a 532 contour, so it's not sticking out of the ground. But I remember seeing the whole pipe sticking out.
Yeah, I would've thought that Jacques would've located that if he saw it, so.
Maybe I'm thinking of someplace in Plymouth or someplace like that, I don't know. But I wanna see where this pond's going to. Just because I know they read, there might be a ditch there now, but I know there's buildings proposed down here.
There's not much of a ditch. I mean, it's a,
I'll take a
you
look.
can tell it's where the water goes, but it's not like it's a defined dug ditch. The slope just comes down, you can see where the water goes, and it just comes up a little bit. It's not even, it might be 6 inches below the existing pavement.
Any other concerns right now? It's pretty hard to say when we haven't seen a. Any other questions for us?
You guys got anything? Information overload for you tonight.
You're looking at me like that for?
Go for the 26th.
He's saying the 26th.
Well, for the 12th, for him to get us the plans, he has to have them to us like next week.
Yeah, I know.
I'm used to that. I said I'm used to that.
The 26th, is that the?
I can get plans in next week.
Why don't we wait till 26th, and have you get this done right? Continue till 26th, you're gonna be going to the ZBA and you had. Does that make sense?
It does.
Rather than him having to. It's gonna rain all day tomorrow, you can get this done tomorrow, can't you?
Yeah, it won't take long.
Make a motion, we,
You want the 12th? Or you want 26th?
Whatever day, I'll be working on this until I get it done. I mean, these guys are under a lot of time constraints, so I'm gonna help out as much as I can, so.
That's what I was gonna think, if we give them the 12th, and there's something else they need to fix, they can fix it by the 26th. And then you have this little thing you'll hopefully approved for the 26th. Do we have anything else for the 12th?
zoning stuff.
You do zoning stuff. You can do this Thursday.
We won't add anything else on the.
We gotta, last day to hold the public hearing is January 16th, so we gotta have our first public hearing on the 12th.
First one's tonight.
No.
No,
Last one.
We
but
got,
you could put them on first and then do.
Okay. Let's continue to the 12th. I think it might
Will
help.
we continue to the 12th of January 2023?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And we just
Opposed,
bring in,
abstained?
you want me to just bring in the new plans, or do you want me to get them into the town ahead of time?
You can get something just a couple days ahead of time.
Okay,
To be blunt, if you could PDF and send me a copy, that'd be awesome. I can send it to everybody else.
that works out a lot easier.
Rather-
If you have to do that, you can just bring them to the meeting.
Yes.
I'll do both.
Yeah.
I'll send PDFs and I'll bring plans, put it on the table. January
I'm
12th.
sorry,
Yeah.
January.
All right, well, thank you.
That's my stuff.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
That's all yours?
Yeah, I brought copies.
Oh. What happened to Naomi's rubber van? I don't know either. My book blew up, so. Thank you, good luck.
A little bit of snow, you can't drive.
Here, brought a couple of these.
If you wanna leave that easel, take that silver one, it'd be all right with me.
I keep all my stuff, I haven't done a meeting in 15 years. That's my first
Oh,
date for
jeez.
everybody.
15 years, I haven't done one yet. Well, no, the last time I did. I did one Monday, or no, Tuesday I did one.
Additional yes or no.
Okay, so you wanna talk about some zoning amendments, I guess, huh?
Talking about it. Visit downstairs.
Uh-oh. Take a 5-minute recess?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
That's with all the comments on. Here's one with little text a little bit with
Yeah,
the
well,
sidebar
sorry,
comments on.
I thought I had,
Couldn't make some more progress.
I thought I had one like that
Yeah,
too.
from curveball there.
All right, thank you.
I
I thought I had one like that.
I
but I-
didn't
That's probably
realize
one
the
they only-
setback was as far as.
You put it out.
I didn't.
I turned one out at home,
You
and
showed
I
me, I
don't,
was like, what?
whatever.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that part out. Do a
Yeah, we'll get the plans early next week.
conditionary one, and then hopefully we can just get the special exception through. And go from there.
Do you want these plans at all? For yourself? Did you get a set?
I do have a set.
Right.
Yeah. All right, here we go, so, thank you.
Yeah, we'll
Probably
talk
gonna
probably
start
tomorrow
the car.
anyways.
Yeah, please. What'd you say, sir?
Probably going to start the car.
Yeah, right. Okay, thank you, thanks again.
Merry Christmas.
I hope you're feeling better next month
Oh, yeah.
or tomorrow. Thank you guys for the help.
Thank you.
Just be careful out on the deck. Well, it's got a little bit of snow on it. I gotta play janitor before I leave, I guess.
Okay, so we're all back. 5-minute recess over.
Pass one down to Ray and Paul.
So last meeting, Bruce mentioned something about allowing an ADU on a detached building, which is what this is. So we'll start with that, I guess.
This, 19, the first paragraph here, 19.1.10, that shouldn't be red, that's black, that's, because of the way I added that, it showed up red.
But basically, everything in black is existing.
Yes,
And
black
everything-
is existing, red is proposed, and then the red striked out means it goes away. So, I was trying to incorporate adding detached ADUs in here without having to redo the whole accessory dwelling section. The first part, all I do is define that accessory dwelling unit is an ADU, so I can just use initials through the rest of it. The second one down is where it allows the, right now it's just what's in black. Shall be constructed within, attached to it, but I'm adding attached or in subordinate to a single dwelling unit.
What do you mean by subordinate to?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, this is for discussion, this is what,
Yeah, but what do you mean
the,
by that?
well, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean,
I meant smaller, less, not the main focus of the,
so,
when you're driving down the road and you see something, the ADU shouldn't be the main focus of the thing, it's like. That's why I use the word subordinate. It
so
could be,
square footage should not be larger than.
no, square footage is already defined further down here,
It's 750.
750 square feet,
Even for the detached?
yes. Yeah, I didn't change the size, footprint, the size at all. Somebody wants to strike that in subordinate or do a different word, I don't care, I'm not married to
No,
it.
I just, I agree, but
I'm not sure why it's necessary, that's all.
Yeah, that's fine, I don't care. I just put a bunch of stuff down here for discussion, and whatever everybody wants to add or strike, I mean.
I don't like excess words because sometimes they mean something I don't think about.
And somebody turns into something to mean
Yes,
something.
all of a sudden it means
really
something
wasn't
we-
supposed to be there.
right.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
yeah, we can just take it out, I don't care.
check it out.
I would take out and subordinate,
Yeah, that's
personally,
fine.
just because I don't.
Okay. Then, an attached ADU shall require, now, I added an attached one here because before, they had to be attached. So it was without spoken, didn't need to say it, at least one interior door, but because it's detached now, obviously, we're not gonna require an interior door.
Why you require an interior door attached?
It's in there now.
I didn't ask you if it was in there now, I said why. Naomi,
I'll tell you why, because our accessory dwelling unit, we had that before ADUs were required in the state. I mean, we're kind of, by special exception, they've been allowed in town for a long time, even before they were, the state said, you gotta allow them.
I understand that.
And that's why I think that interior door was added in there, because the idea was, when the original ordinance came out, that it had to be for an in-law or something like that.
So why don't we get rid of it?
We can. I mean, if we're gonna work on this thing, we wanna get rid of it, now's the time to do it.
do you want to get rid of .3 completely?
Yeah, because point 3 is all about the door.
Yeah, and in my mind, when it says at least one interior connecting door or other access for persons to pass between, what other access is there besides a door?
Window, I don't know.
Yeah, but who's gonna crawl in and out of a window?
Well, if there's a fire back there, but beside that door, I'll climb out that window.
Well, if there's a fire back there, and I'll make a door.
The place where my son lives right now, he has a 3-bedroom attached to a 4-bedroom.
It's not an accessory dwelling then, because it's got more than 2 bedrooms.
Correct.
It's a duplex.
Well, yeah, but there's not the basement's connected, it's not separate.
Yeah, but that's a duplex,
Right.
that doesn't,
Okay.
but I mean, I don't have a problem with that door, because now the ADUs are workforce housing, I mean, it says right in the,
Right.
so to have a pass-through door for workforce housing seems a little silly.
Naomi, in your infinite wisdom and memory, do you remember why we had an interconnecting door in ADUs? Was it because we always called it an in-law apartment? So there's
You
no,
can't have a front door,
Yeah, front door can't face the street, and there had to be a door inside, yeah.
interconnecting for you to pass.
why? Why do you have to have a connecting door?
Don't know.
Unless it's for fire, safety, but you have to have 2 accesses, all that kind of crap.
You still need that. But that interior door that connected meant that you only had to have one other exterior door in the ADU.
Right.
Right. But if you don't, then you still have to meet the building code for
Yeah.
egress. I have a problem getting rid of the interior door.
What's everybody else think?
Can I go back to the 750 living space? It's a living space, so if you put it above the garage, it's just above the garage?
It's the heated living space of the ADU, not including the garage.
Okay.
So would we have to, would there have to be some provision that says you need at least 2 ingress egress?
No, we'll just leave it up to the building code.
Okay,
We don't need to address that at all. They gotta meet the building code,
okay.
right?
Yeah. So cross it out, don't renumber.
Yeah, we just, 03, we just strike in its entirety or something on the date or whatever.
Yeah, and no 4 stays, 0.4 stays the same.
Repealed or,
So we're taking out 10.3 completely?
yeah. And 4 is all about the septic system.
Where's it say anything in here about 750 square feet?
Second paragraph,
Ah,
10.1.
I was looking for numbers. It's written out, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Now, that says living space. So definition of living space, I had this discussion with a couple other people the other day, is the heated space within the drywall of the exterior shell.
Correct.
So it doesn't include wall thickness of the exterior shell. So you can stretch it a little bit by not, if you know, if you've got thick walls or whatever. But it includes all the interior walls, hallways, stairways, everything within that
Envelope.
envelope.
Right.
Yes.
We had this discussion when we were talking about what to charge for a building permit based on
Yes.
square footage back 2 years ago, as to what was heated and not heated, and what was attached, not attached.
So then
5.
5 is an attached ADU again, because now we have an attached, we have 2 different ones. No entrance shall exit. Doing,
That one doesn't even,
So if you have this, this is the existing dwelling,
yep,
and this is the new 2.5 car garage.
yeah, but
Yeah.
this is just for attached, this is not the detached one.
Oh,
5
that's
is
true.
only for attached.
That's true.
And what that's saying is you can't have 2 front doors to your house. So if you got an ADU it's attached, it's not within your house, but it's attached like an L, you can't have a front door facing the street on your house and the ADU.
ADU has to be facing the side,
ADU has to be facing off to the side,
or rear, I guess.
right?
So all the ones that look like that now are all grandfathered?
Or illegal, yes.
They're illegal, because ever since Weare adopted the in-law apartment or accessory dwelling unit, that has been there.
That said 2017.
Now, it was there in 2001 when I built mine, I can tell you that.
Well, okay, it got slightly changed in
Yeah,
2017.
it might have got slightly changed, but,
so I would suggest in that sentence that you strike out that. An attached ADU shall require no new entrance or exit.
Yep.
ADU shall be constructed facing the front of the single-family dwelling.
I know, the way they worded it was a little odd.
That it, because what you explained
Isn't what
is
this
not
says.
what this says.
I know, but what I explained is how they interpret it.
Yeah,
Yeah, what this says is, it shall not be facing the front of the single-family dwelling. It just, I mean, it's like doors facing each other, which isn't gonna happen anyway.
yeah,
It can't be if it's attached.
yeah.
But I was trying not to address that language, I was only trying to add the detached part here. if somebody can come up with a different way to word that. Maybe now's a good time to change it.
Well, I liked what you said, ADU has to be built facing a side or the back.
Yeah, they can't have a door on the street side of the unit.
Yeah. ADU shall be constructed so that it does not have a door facing the street side of,
Yeah.
it makes a whole
Instead,
lot,
instead of facing the front of the single-family dwelling, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird the way it's worded.
yeah, that makes no sense.
Well, you're gonna add, because we've,
How about no new entrance or exit to an attached ADU shall be constructed facing the front lot line?
Shall be constructed facing, just take of the single-family dwelling, put front lot line.
Facing the front lot line.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a, keeps the change to a
Because
good
we're
one.
really, what you're trying to do is to keep the appearance from the road that it's,
Just-
you're not seeing the accessory dwelling unit door.
Right, exactly.
So if the front of the house is facing sideways, you don't want the, you still don't want the accessory dwelling unit facing the door.
Yeah.
Facing the front.
so how are we rephrasing it? So what it's written right now is no new entrance or exit to an accessory dwelling. We're talking about an attached ADU, right?
Yes.
I was
attached.
changing Bruce's wording all around, back to where it was before. No new entrance or exit to an attached ADU shall be constructed facing the front lot line.
Yeah.
So it's for both detached and attached?
No, he
No,
just said
I just said,
attached.
no. No new entrance or exit to an attached ADU shall be constructed facing the front lot line.
Attached.
Shall be constructed facing the front lot line.
Okay,
That's simple.
yeah.
That way you're not twisting your head around to figure out where it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
The only thing I changed here was I get rid of, I just used it.
You like your abbreviations.
Yeah, it just makes it easier to read, once everything is cleaned up.
So if I have cedar shake shingles on my house, I gotta put cedar shake on my garage, so I have an ADU on it?
It says uniform, doesn't say the same.
What if it's a log cabin? You gotta build a log cabin, ADU? Detached ADU?
This is,
Isn't uniform
this
the
was
same?
for, see, this was for, this was the regular attached type ADU, so.
I understand
So this
that.
would apply now to both detached and attached, not just attached, that's why I didn't segregate it here.
Like I said, if I'm gonna build a garage and put an ADU above it, I gotta put cedar shakes in my garage and my,
That's how it
Upstairs.
was here. I mean, it's up to the board, you wanna change that, you want to change it?
We change the word uniform to something,
well, if it's attached, it should, I don't. Naomi has a thought, I can tell.
No, maybe it did.
So she's holding her head up, so when she falls asleep, she doesn't hit her nose.
Why don't you go home, we can turn this off. If you feel like crap, go home.
You're not gonna be that much longer, are you?
I hope not.
so I
It's
like
slippery
the
outside.
taking the single out to make it primary, because we're dealing with both detached and attached.
That was my
What do
thought.
you think?
And we're making these changes, why?
Pardon me?
And we're making these changes, why?
To allow detached accessory dwelling units.
Couldn't do that before?
No.
Couldn't just build another place on your lot?
Nope,
Nope.
Well, without a variance.
no, you couldn't,
I can build another place on my lot.
no, you can't.
Yeah, I can.
Not legally.
Sure I do, I already have approved site plan.
It's not a house. It's
Yeah,
not a dwelling.
it's the difference between a house and a dwelling.
No.
What if I wanna make a small,
You can do a small, you do an office, small business office
no,
on it.
I can build another house on my property.
You haven't got, if you got a permit for that, it was issued erroneously.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
I have an approved building lot on my property.
You have two lots?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, then you can build two houses, one house on each lot, yes.
so I couldn't build another house, okay. All right, I understand.
Because the theory, my thought, I think our thought, right now, to build an accessory dwelling unit on top of a garage, you have to have your garage attached to your house. If you have a detached garage, you can't have one. What's the difference? Except it's,
Well,
Or if you got a barn,
yeah.
and you wanna have a small place inside the barn. or you
Well,
not
I'd
can't
looked
do
at
it.
this before, I'd looked at turning my carriage house upstairs into an in-law suite.
Was it attached to your house?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay,
750 square feet.
Today, you can do it as long as it's attached.
okay.
Right.
But there's a lot of people,
But if you wanted to put a apartment, 750 square foot detached ADU in your barn out back, you can't do it right now.
Okay.
But I don't see why not. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. It has to be attached.
Could I run septic and sewer to that barn?
you can.
Yeah. Might have to get new septic, you have to get new septic.
Well, I
design,
understand
probably.
that.
Yeah, but, yeah.
But then how would you know if I'm living in it or not?
That's the problem.
So, okay, all right.
We'd rather let people do things like that instead of,
Force them to do it
right,
under the cover.
Right.
Gotcha, okay.
And there's maybe some homeless guys living in a tent in Manchester can move in here, move into an apartment, pay rent to somebody.
so you wanna use different words other than uniform? If you think of one, let me know.
Could you say consistent? Exterior construction.
Like kind?
What's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, uniform doesn't say the same, so if you got cedar shakes on your house, you could do vinyl shakes on the ADU or garage, it doesn't have to be cedar.
Can I do texture 111?
No.
T111? Why not? It's a garage.
That's not uniform.
I know, that's my point. Okay. It will look better doing it uniform, I would agree. On to 8.
So that would say that if I owned a house and it had an ADU, I couldn't rent both of them.
Correct.
Why is that important?
That was in here before. And that,
It goes back to the in-law thing.
yeah, it does. And and some people will say, well, it's, now if you're gonna say that the owner doesn't have to live there, now it's not an accessory dwelling unit, now it's a duplex of two different sizes.
No.
People have made those comments. I mean, this is one of these things that's historically been in here, and I didn't wanna make that adjustment.
How does it affect that whole, temporary rental stuff?
It doesn't. As long as they rent it out for more than 180 days at a time.
If you're gonna rent out for a couple nights,
Then it's temporary rental.
yeah.
Why can't you run out an ADU at temporary?
Oh, you can.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't,
okay,
but just because it's an ADU doesn't mean it is.
true.
Oh, yeah, no, not say temporary rental, no.
And that 19-110-9 is all, So this foundation thing is prohibiting putting a trailer?
Yes.
yes. Or a yurt. Oh. They have those in Maine, Vermont. It's essentially verifying that it is an all-season permanent type
habitable structure.
So F.
There we go.
What?
He said this to me and I replied back, what are you trying to say in F? And I still don't understand it.
So if it's not in a garage, it should be out front.
It shouldn't be out front, and it should be behind the house. If it's not contained within like a garage that's attached to the side of the house or beside the house, then it'll be attached.
So what if there's a pre-existing garage already in front of the house?
It can be within the garage, but it can't be the ADU can't be, the garage can't be turned into an ADU with no garage left.
Right, but can you put an additional garage in front of that other garage, in front of the house?
Yeah, as long as it's part of the garage, as long as it's part of the garage structure. You can't separate the structures. If it's a structure by itself, it can't be in front of the house.
I can't do that.
Yeah, you can do that, as long as there's a garage there.
You just said it can't be located in front of the house.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in front of the house.
I'm not, did you finish reading it?
Yes, several times. I didn't know what you're trying to say.
Unless it is contained within the other required structure, for example, a barn or garage. If it's contained within the barn or garage, you can do that.
So if it's contained within barn or garage, if you put in a brand new garage up,
And you put a brand new ADU up in front of the house.
you can do that?
Yes,
Okay, but that's hard to say
I,
from that.
I know. Believe me, I was fishing for words. If anybody has any other words, please spell them.
Because I'm just thinking of a particular property and it's got frontage on 2 streets. So technically you can't put it anywhere.
How do you get it without being in front of the house, right?
Right.
Right. You get it.
So, go ahead, keep, let me find what I'm trying to find.
So my point is, I didn't want a standalone ADU with no other in front of the house or beside the house, unless it was in a,
In a garage.
In a garage or,
Yeah,
right.
that's how I took it, but,
Yeah,
okay.
and I wasn't sure the
Plus, it's
most
not gonna be any
concise way
bigger
to
than the
word that.
house anyways, it's gonna only be 750 square feet,
Right,
period.
right,
2-bedroom.
yeah. If somebody has a more concise way of wording that, I'm all ears.
So are ADUs designed to be rental properties?
Yes,
So you're gonna have people just building rental properties on their property?
they can now.
But you can only do one.
They still can only do one.
Yeah.
So where in here does it,
But I could build a rental property
attach your house?
attached to my house.
750 square feet.
Okay, I could just section out part of my house and say it's not a rental.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
But you're changing it so you can actually build a separate structure.
Right. But you still only can have one. You can't have one in your house or attached to your house and that detached one.
No, I
And the
understand.
way that what is it? C prohibits a nanopod or whatever they call those things, being just plopped into your backyard.
Yeah,
Has to have a real frost wall
right,
foundation.
right.
So how do you, E and F seem to have a conflict then? E is saying it has to be incorporated into or added onto another structure, right? Whether it's a barn or garage or whatever. But then you're saying the ADU has to be in front of the house unless it's contained within the other required structure. So if you can't build it without the barn or the garage, then F doesn't count, F doesn't matter,
Correct.
right?
Or E.
If E, you don't need F.
If you have F, you don't need E.
Okay, it's the other way around, right? If you don't have E, you need F.
I'm just throwing stuff out here.
I'm just,
Instead of playing devil's advocate, help me fix it.
I think F should be eliminated. I think F should be eliminated.
Actually, E doesn't make sense, because by reading E, that's what you're trying to get rid of, right? Is that you don't have to build an attached ADU, right? When I read E, E sounds like it has to be attached.
Well,
Has to be attached to something.
it can't be, the structure can't be nothing, it has to be more than the ADU. It has to be part of, it has to have
You
some
can't
garage
build, you
component.
can't build a
about-
cabin in the woods and call it an ADU.
Well, I get that, but this,
Yeah, you
this,
can't make a shed into an ADU.
Right.
right.
So E stays.
An ADU shall be incorporated into or added onto another structure, either built simultaneously to the ADU or already existing, i.e. garage, barn, et cetera, because that sounds like, I thought I could build a 750 ADU in the backyard.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I have to build a barn,
Yes,
and then say, part of that barn's gonna be an ADU.
yes.
Okay. So I can't just build an ADU. I can't say, okay, here's 750 square feet right next to my house.
Right.
For rent sign.
Right.
Okay.
So then if E's.
And my theory is that
communicating
might
we
get
don't
ugly
need
really
F.
quick in town. That could get ugly really quick in town.
So the only way to have a detached ADU is with a barn or.
Existing, build a barn and then, or something, existing, a detached structure from your main residence.
Right,
Yes,
Turn part of that into an ADU.
right.
your workshop, partition off
What
750
if
feet.
what if the existing structure is already like 750 square feet?
Then you can't use the whole thing, you're gonna have to,
Make a closet and then the rest of
you're
it.
gonna have to make it, you have to make it bigger, I mean, you have to make,
Make a-
either go up,
Make
go
a,
up,
make a 600 square foot ADU.
either go up or go
Oh,
up.
it said,
You
oh,
can-
it said no more than 750.
Right.
Okay.
You can make it bigger, you can make, add, go up or make the footprint bigger.
What do you do in Japan with those like apartments that are the size of like the back of a Toyota truck?
Well, they got 5 generations living in the same house too, so. Because they got 150-year mortgages, because property's so expensive.
Okay, so we're gonna get rid of F,
Okay.
right? Do we all agree on that?
Yeah, especially if E says you have to have an additional structure.
Right.
That it has to be attached to or built upon.
Right, so therefore you don't need F.
Okay, and G was saying, look, if you haven't got a garage already, but you want to do a detached ADU, you can build a garage and an ADU at the same time.
Great.
Or if you're doing a site from scratch, there's nothing on the lot now, and you want to build a primary dwelling and the garage and an ADU, you can do that too. You don't have to build one piece at a time.
But you can't build an ADU.
But you can't build the ADU and live in it,
Why not?
because then it's not an ADU.
You're right, that's my principal structure,
Right,
so I can live in it.
yes, but it's not an ADU at that point, right?
Right, until I get a building permit for my primary structure. So I can build a garage, put my ADU above it, live in my ADU, pull a building
your
permit,
house.
pull a building permit for my house, now my ADU is an ADU.
Yeah.
And my house is a house.
Yeah.
So you can do
have to
that.
move out.
Well, it's not an
until
ADU when
your
you live in it.
house- Correct, you have to move out.
Why can't I do that?
Well, why wouldn't you be able to do it?
I mean, how many people have done that?
Doesn't say, yeah, everyone's done that.
I know a person in
I haven't,
Herring that's
but I
done that,
would.
built a shed and lived in the shed until he cleared the land.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't live in it full-time, but,
My parents-in-law built their house one little room at a time.
or how many people have built the foundation and put a roof on the foundation and waited for the upstairs to be built
Yeah.
20 years later?
Yeah, before building codes were what they had today, you could do that. It's kind of hard to do that now.
yeah, it is a little hard to do it now. But still, you should be able to build a garage and put an ADU above it and live in it temporarily while you're building your house.
If it's not ADU, well, if it's above the garage, you're living in it.
That would be your primary residence at that point.
So why are we saying this?
I don't know. Let's,
Okay. So why are we saying F, G, and H can be eliminated, right?
H, I didn't think we want to eliminate H.
It already says that in 10.5.
If that applies to everything, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Take out the word attached. In 10.5, take out the word attached, so an ADU shall require that, no. No new entrance or exits to an attached,
Attached, you.
take out the word
I don't
attached.
think you should. So how,
No new entrance or exit to an ADU shall be constructed facing the front lot line.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that would apply to both.
Yeah, that applies to both.
So you took attached out and you're getting rid of G.
Yes.
And
So
H.
F, G, and H are gone.
10 is good.
10's good.
I did 10 in there on purpose.
So talk to me about that a little bit.
I think the state is doing a study right now. All the planning commissions have gotten together. The results are supposed to be out pretty quick here. On what towns are not pulling their own weight as far as workforce housing. They're putting, they're doing a census on every single town in the state. One organization is doing it, so it's the same study everywhere. And they're gonna say, okay, Weare, you don't have enough workforce housing. We can say, we allow workforce housing on any lot in town.
So the
So we're redefining our ADUs to not just be in-laws
Yes,
or grandma's apartments. They're,
Ounce of prevention,
Good.
pound of cure.
yeah,
So to keep the state from being a pain in the ass.
right.
We give them something that they can't say, oh, okay.
That's my thought.
Oh, forward thinking.
I'm not sure that's gonna work, but either way, I think the town has enough, can provide enough workforce housing. Just because the cost of the lot is not $200,000. I think there's enough cheap lots that you could,
I don't know,
I don't know either. I don't know what the threshold for workforce housing is anymore.
but I'd rather
We're talking a lot and then the cost to build it.
I'd rather say this is a good qualifier for workforce housing in
Put a trailer on
a
it.
lot of places, in many different ways,
That's not a bad idea.
and without having it all in one place.
So then you're gonna do a change the definition for accessory dwelling unit also? Because it says shall mean a residential living unit that is within or attached to a single-family dwelling and that provides yabba-dabba do.
I guess we'll have to attach that to, right?
Yeah, or else we're going right back where we were with private roads where it's not gonna
Right.
work.
ADU definition. Okay. So you good on that?
so what was it? So last time when we talked about private roads, wetlands, master plan, Mount Dearborn, detached ADU, and then I have a note says Bruce has one more.
Yeah, I had a couple more actually.
Mountain Dearborn was completely repealed.
Correct, but we have to make that correction in the zone, in the law. of
Yes, we don't have the book. Which is why I emailed you this morning, and then I apologized in the email.
Well, it gave him the first.
Never mind. Maybe.
Those are right from the town report. But the article and how it was worded in the vote.
Right, that's what I sent him after. So we have to make a parenthesis for that whole article, that this has been repealed? Article 30A, sections 1 through 43.
So what? Is this the same as that?
No, probably 2 different years.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna say, this doesn't say what it's.
No, this is 20, that's 21.
Is this all we said in our article? Really? I thought it was longer than that,
What?
the private road article.
We added Article 37.
Which said what? More than a paragraph.
There's a whole lot more to it, I gotta go back, we have to go find our notes.
I mean, a box that Kelly left behind.
It could be in our minutes that are posted even.
Wouldn't, doesn't Maureen keep those somewhere?
Yeah, see, when you did the driveway, I think Kelly was here, right?
Yes.
And there's a box of stuff that had emails and notes and things.
So we just need to do some more homework on that.
I'm gonna say I'm probably 94% sure that I have a draft. I probably have the final in my computer someplace that I can dig up.
What's that, the driveway one?
Yeah,
Driveway or private roads?
yes.
Same thing.
Private roads.
Yeah, private roads.
The private road definition and all about the conditional use permit.
Correct.
'Cause I probably, if Kelly was here, Kelly probably had me, she probably didn't do it, I probably did it.
So we are, Article 6 says, 4.1, to modify it as far as definition, but there's also another article within the zoning that negates the existence or that we have to correct as well.
Says it's not allowed.
Correct. And I can't remember where it is, because the new Article 37 is not in the 2019 rule book.
I'll find it next week. Next Tuesday, to be exact.
Here's here's the dilemma. By January 6th, you need to post and publish notices for first public hearing on zoning amendments. So we need some kind of,
Have something ready.
just some kind of a draft outline.
You're gonna probably do them and then you probably finalize them on the 26th,
On the 12th, we had to have the first public hearing.
right? And then the 26th, you could finalize them because you have to
Right.
have the final by the 30th.
So the hearing on the 12th is our first hearing.
Yes,
We have to post it by when?
the 6th.
I thought it was so many days,
Actually,
so many days before the
if you're
meeting.
using, you're gonna have to do it by the 2nd. Because they give you
It's
the
10 days,
6th,
so we
but
need
you
to
have
get
have
10 days. So 12th, we had to do it by 2nd, right? Yeah.
Right, which is day after Christmas, New Year's.
Yep.
We
If
haven't
you send me
received,
something, we can even post it the 30th,
any petitioned ones, right?
just one.
Go bobblehead over here.
I told you there was gonna be an application today too, didn't I? Client of mine petitioned for a lot on the end of Woodfern to be switched from residential, from rural ag to residential. That's what the petition's for.
Kurt was supposed to do it last year, but missed.
Is that an amendment to zoning?
Yes,
Just the map.
Just
The
the
map.
yes. Because she
We
wants,
need to see that for the 12th?
No, you list it and then you
no, it's near the end.
That one's near the end, yeah.
You have to list that as a question, but you have to talk about it on the 12th.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
are you in favor of amendment number 1,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So we have one petition.
That I know of.
Dates come and gone.
I thought you were gonna have one.
No.
December 14th was
No,
it?
next year.
So it was filed before the 14th? He did it?
Yes, I did.
Good
Yes,
job.
Maureen's already checked the signatures, so.
Yes, I did.
He's got 700 signatures?
27.
Oh, you need that then.
28? Okay.
Okay. So how many of these items do we want to?
I'm not done yet.
So let's back up. You gotta get the wetland thing to her, right? So you can post it.
Here's the thing with the wetland thing, this is, hopefully it's fairly simple. Right now, we have a 25-foot wetland buffer that applies to every single wetland in town. Every single lot, every single wetland, no exceptions. We have a 50-foot wetland setback that applies to lots created after the date the ordinance was adopted. So most lots in town, it doesn't apply to because they were in existence prior to the ordinance being adopted. But because there's no wetland setback on those lots, a lot of people seem to think that the buffer doesn't apply to them either. But the buffer does apply. So really, there is a setback by de facto because of the buffer of 25 feet. But it's impossible to build something and be able to get on the backside of it and work on it, or dig a hole for anything 25 feet from the wetlands and meet the buffer requirements. So, we think we want to add another number in there that would apply to all lots that's maybe 30 feet setback from the wetlands, so you got a 5-foot window that stuff can happen, so you're not encroaching in the buffer when you're
As
building
opposed
this
to
building.
50?
Right.
Why?
Because
If somebody comes to Romeo and gives them a building permit and it's 28 feet away from the wetland, is he gonna give it to them?
who says they get a building permit?
Well, if you're not getting a building permit, you're not gonna pay attention to the zoning.
Yeah, I know.
What's your point? We gotta assume these people are trying to be law-abiding citizens.
The point is that for the person that's trying to be law-abiding, that they can't show a building 25 feet away from the wetlands because, okay, I'll meet the buffer, because it's impossible to build in that.
Right, so if he's trying to meet the law, he should know that and don't show it.
So that's why
29
I think,
feet.
what's another reasonable number? That's 5 feet. Let's just throw 5 feet on there. I mean, doesn't have to be a lot, just to get them out of it a little bit.
Who's to say I can't build something 26 feet away from it? 25 and a half feet. Who says I can't build something 25 and a half feet from the wetland?
What are you
I
trying
can
to
put
do?
a shed there. I can put a shed 25 and a half feet from a wetland without disturbing the buffer.
Yeah,
But now you're telling me I can't. Because now
you have to cut some trees, you're gonna have to, yeah.
I
mean,
can cut trees in the wetland buffer.
You wanna make it 25 feet? We'll do a 25-foot setback so it matches the buffer. I don't care, just, what's the number?
Why are we doing anything? The buffer is a setback.
People don't realize that. I don't need to see this. We're not talking about wetland buffers for other towns. We already know what ours is.
Correct, but it gives you some speculation to speculate about.
Speculation to speculate about.
I've looked at these before and
Have them
they're all,
think.
they're all, thanks.
So your concern is that a lot created in 1922 has a wetland buffer of 25 feet and no wetland setback, and somebody's not gonna understand they can't build 25.1 feet away from the wetland.
Right.
And this is a law-abiding citizen you're worried about.
Hey, what do we do about it? We don't do anything about it. If you want them, now's the time to do it.
So all you're changing is the 50 to the 30 in what we already.
Or
present-
25,
Present.
25, 30, whatever. Just so that,
So you're gonna make the wetland setback the same all through town? Less than 50?
no, only on prior lots that were in existence and the ones that the the wetland setback does not apply to now. I gotta figure out how to word it, but I mean, I don't wanna change that part of it. And I'll probably just. What are you doing?
I can hear it.
buffers.
Is there a wetland setback?
Yep,
The 50
28.
50, yes.
It already talks about existing lots being exempt.
To the 50 feet, not to the buffer,
Correct.
which is the miscommunication that everybody's having. That's where the disconnect comes in. I could just put existing lots of record as of the date of this ordinance shall need 25 feet instead of exempt. Or 30 feet, whatever. We just remove the word exempt and put what we think the number ought to be there.
50.
For setbacks.
I don't want to do that. You want to do that? You want to eliminate it all together? I mean, the problem with that is we exempt things to get things approved by town meeting, and then you give them a carrot, and then a few years later, you take it away. I don't like that.
I didn't say I liked it either, but I don't like.
And the only reason why a lot of people voted for it to begin with was because they figured their lot was exempt.
What's the date on the exemption?
We don't know. I thought it said right there, but it doesn't say.
Well, it seems 25 feet would clear up the
The misconception with the,
buffer.
right.
No, it doesn't, because then, does my lot have a 50-foot or a 25-foot setback? I don't know.
We gotta come up, I gotta, yeah, not having the date in here. It wasn't that long ago. That can't be that. I know what I was doing. I know what I was
on the
building.
board.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago.
I was doing that little Corliss subdivision up there when it happened.
That's when I first started the board.
I think the year after I did that is when this happened.
When did I join the board, Naomi? When did,
Well, then ago,
when did you quit being land use coordinator and go upstairs?
09.
09? So it's probably about 07. Maybe 06.
So, I mean, there's a lot of lots in town that are exempt. And people, to take away the exemption, the only reason why this passed was because they thought they'd be exempt. I just don't like that.
How about instead of doing
I
that,
think it's dirty politics doing that.
how about instead of doing that, we get serious about the wetlands and do it right? Like I've been saying for 3 years.
Well, that's why,
What is serious and doing it right mean?
If the wetland's a piece of junk wetland, no setback, no buffer, no nothing. If the wetland's, okay,
has some,
have a little bit of a buffer, have some setback. If it's a really nice wetland, put a big buffer and a, not a big buffer, a good-sized buffer and a good-sized setback, depending on the quality of the
you know,
wetland.
if you got a 400 square foot puddle that doesn't mean anything,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's less than,
So delineation between.
yeah, it's just not size, but also functions and values, as they call it. I mean, those are wood turtles using it in the spring and that kind of stuff. I know, I've done that every year.
That's what your
Yeah,
talking point was.
yep, that's my talking point.
Well, that certainly makes sense when there's not as near as I can tell, a definition as to what a wetland is. But then how do you determine?
There is a definition of
Definition,
wetland.
but
A
maybe
very clear definition.
a delineation of the quality of a wetland or
Yeah,
the
maybe
value
that's-
of it, per se.
Yeah, well, like a puddle versus
Yeah.
a pond,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
right.
But,
Or
but,
a vernal pool versus a puddle.
Right.
Versus a pond.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or a hole that somebody dug in the yard 50 years ago, it turned into a wetland.
Or skidder tracks going through the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then who makes the determination as to the quality of the wetland?
Well, the soil scientist, there's a whole regime to go through for
Yes.
that. There's standards, US Army Corps of Engineers for coming up with that.
So they do that?
Yeah.
They would come
It's not
back?
something we have to figure out.
Oh, well, then let's do that.
It's not quite that easy, but yes.
Sounds like a no-brainer.
Maybe I should appoint Pastor Bill as
chairman of a subcommittee to look into this.
Oh, great.
I think you should have ducked.
I'm just giving information that I got turned down on one piece of information.
I
Information that
understand.
he gave out before, and now it's all my fault.
No, you just have all this information right at your fingertips.
Well, we talked about
I know we did, we did.
5 million times almost.
And the I like the wetland buffer should be half of the wetland setback, I like that little blurb.
So what do you want to do? You want to attempt that again this coming year?
Let's do it right. If we're gonna do it, let's do it right.
Okay, I got another thing then, two others actually.
Okay.
Now, this isn't hypothetical at all, okay? Look at section 22.6.4 on page 28.
22.6.4,
Yep. Down the bottom.
frontage,
Yep.
Frontage added.
doesn't say anything.
Nothing.
Well, it's kind of a lead-in into the frontages for village districts, for Clinton Grove and Riverdale and Chase Village. And our town council interpretation has been that because these frontages are defined specifically like this, that these, any lots of record are not eligible for the non-conforming lot of record rule of you can build on it if it's got 50 feet of frontage.
Say that again?
ZBA has issued, had to issue, and asked for variances for a non-conforming lot of record in a village district that had a house on it, but it didn't meet this frontage requirement listed in this village district zone, because she thought that this village district zone frontage trumped the non-conforming lot of record 50-foot requirement.
Okay,
Which
so,
I don't think is. My interpretation is these are, if you want to create a new lot, do a subdivision, this is what you need for frontage.
Correct.
Not if you want to build on an existing lot that doesn't meet the frontage already.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
except there's something in here saying no building permit shall be issued on a lot with less than 50 feet of frontage.
But she thinks that this frontage trumps that language. That's
Okay,
a
good.
non-conforming lot of record.
Good, I agree. I like that.
Really? You don't think you can build on, on a lot in Clinton Grove unless it has 250 feet of frontage, you can't build on it without getting a variance?
It says right. No. It's a pre-existing non-conforming lot.
No, that's where the problem is.
How can it not be pre-existing non-conforming?
It is a pre-existing non-conforming lot, but you still need a 250-foot frontage. If you don't have it, you have to get a variance. That's the problem.
Well, it doesn't matter what district you're in then.
But because-
If we're requiring 250 feet of frontage in a rural agricultural district, I have 249
I'm
feet of
telling you
frontage, I
what
can't
the
get a
town,
building
I'm telling
permit.
you what.
It doesn't matter if you're in the village district or if you're in the rural agricultural district. If I have 249 feet of
I
frontage.
agree with you, but I think all we gotta do here is put frontage for,
No, because that's not the problem.
what do you think the problem is?
What's the definition of pre-existing non-conforming? I mean, Clinton Grove, it says we have to have 250 feet of frontage.
Right. That means if you got a lot that's 200 feet wide in Clinton Grove and your house burns down, you gotta get a variance to build another one.
What if I have an empty lot that's 200 feet wide?
You gotta get a variance to build on it. That's what the interpretation is as of now.
Maybe we should talk to town council.
So why was this added in 2008, this whole section?
Because we didn't have any frontage requirements for anything in the village district. We had setbacks
Clinton
and,
Grove had 250 and everybody else has 150.
no, 22.6.4 in its entirety was added
Correct.
in 2018. Prior to 2008, we had everything above it.
Nobody's asking how come everything else is 150 feet and Clinton Grove's
But we didn't have
250.
we had no frontage requirements.
Oh, but why is it
No, but
so
why is
different
it
on Clinton
different in
Grove?
Clinton
Why is it
Grove as
250
opposed to
and
everybody
there's
else?
150
Well, I don't know that.
Oh, okay.
Is Clinton Grove that much smaller considering what the footprint on the map?
No, what is it, 5 lots in Clinton Grove, something's pretty.
I actually don't know where the district boundary is.
No, it's five.
Around the
Flanders
range.
House, Clinton Grove Academy itself,
Yeah,
the frickin' mix of lives in one home house. Flanders are living in, yeah. You can't be many more than 5 houses in it.
that's what I said, what's it, 5
Yeah, I'm
houses in?
thinking, running through my head.
So was it designed to protect that village, that district, to say you can't subdivide it all into
There's
smaller lots?
7 lots,
I'm sure, 7? Okay.
yeah. Starting with the red house on top of the hill,
Okay, and down,
What
across,
about-
house across the street from it, and then
Yes.
down the hill to Clinton Grove.
and then the one across, right?
And then the new house they just built back,
Yeah, that's in it. Well, that's technically not in it, but,
that's technically not in it, but
because it's only so far from the road.
Yeah, that one's they set
it
back.
goes set, it's back in there a good,
But the front of that lot is, and then the one that the guy's been working on the siding forever. Right across the intersection.
So you
oh,
were
even that guy too.
suggesting that we.
By the
adapt
cemetery?
Language to.
Yes, across from the cemetery.
Across from the cemetery? Okay.
Yeah, a parentheses after frontage says applies to new lots only.
Yeah, that would solve the
Yeah.
problem.
That seems fairly, unless you think it's gonna, what?
I'm telling you, it's, I don't make this stuff up, Chris.
Well, I would prefer
Okay,
to,
so.
I'd rather
what
talk to the
we consider-
attorney about it rather than just jumping into this.
Well, let's put it on the agenda here, and if we talk to the attorney and talk her off the cliff, maybe we can not do it,
Okay,
but I
so
mean,
what else
we
is
have to
that?
have it on the list for January 6th to talk about it again.
Right.
We're not changing anything, we're just clarifying something.
All we could do is add a definition of non-conforming lot in the frontage, in the front, rather than changing that. Because that's only applying to Clinton Grove and the village districts.
No, the whole frontage, right after frontage, before.
Yes, and that's all applying to the village districts
Yeah.
only.
Right, I know.
What about the rural agricultural district?
I know,
What
I
about the
know.
residential district? What about commercial?
So do you wanna go to non-conforming, say this applies to every lot in town or
If we're
something?
saying that you, yeah. If it applies to the village district, we're only fixing a
We're only
tiny,
fixing the village
a
part.
very tiny portion of the town. Naima, if I emailed Laura and asked her for that, whatever letter that was she sent,
Well, I think she's gone for a few days, but you can,
will we get something before the
6th?
2nd? 10 days before
yeah,
our
I
meeting?
think she's gone, like, they're closed Friday and Monday for Christmas.
Does Jack have a copy of the letter?
I'll find out.
Okay,
I can ask him tomorrow morning.
okay.
So there's not a definition of lot, non-conforming lot. in
I didn't see it.
Okay. What else you got, Bruce?
I don't like that one, Bruce.
Telling you. I didn't make this stuff up. My other one is, go ahead, you can say what you want.
You're ready, huh?
What's this?
This is what else I got.
You making this up as we go speak? Or?
No,
Oh, this is how you like this.
Residential camping? That's,
Yeah, to
Okay.
address a particular person.
Can we back up a step? Article 3.5, non-conforming lots.
yeah,
It shall meet the setback requirements, blah, 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 blah. It shall have at least 50 feet of frontage.
I know, but she's saying because the village district does that, it trumps this. That's, I'm telling you,
Well, then it
it's a
trumps-
wacky
then it trumps-
interpretation.
Then it trumps in everything. The whole way through the town, that's gonna be trumped.
Craig, I didn't make this decision. I'm just telling you what, don't beat me up.
I'm gonna.
So, I have a note here in my that there was a question on accessory structures. dealing with that,
With what?
that definition of non-conforming lots.
Oh, yeah.
We're not gonna try that again.
That's the court case. we just-
We're waiting for a while. We got, there's too many irons in the fire right now. We're not
Alright.
touching
Yeah,
that.
that would, yeah. Yes, that was the court case that
It's not done yet.
our state rep was
Yeah.
going after. You were saying, I'm done with that.
This
Oh,
is next.
good.
This is,
What's Article 12 already?
no, this is not our zoning. This
Oh.
is Belmont or something.
Sure, you can bring stuff from someplace else.
Where do you think we got our site plan regs?
I'm not doing any research anymore.
Our site plan regs came from Plymouth, and Naomi got a Word doc from them, replace Plymouth with Weare,
Search and replace.
and she smiles.
This is, yeah,
We have camping as a regular issue.
evidently,
Yeah.
big issue.
That sounds absurd.
Huh?
That seems absurd. So what, people are renting their lots out for people to go camping?
Well, they put a camper on them and rent them out as short-term rentals.
Well, you can't do that anyway.
Yeah, you
That
can't.
doesn't have anything to do with this.
But this is like if, you know, my brother comes up for a week and wants to camp in the backyard
Don't shoot the messenger.
because he lives
I'm about ready to. You're going 1 for 3 now. You're really going downhill quick. Why'd I ever appoint you?
Where's our reference to our current?
We don't have any.
There's
What-
nothing
current
current
what's the
that
purpose of
speaks to
this?
it.
Yeah, I mean, how could commercial camping be?
Commercial camping's different. Commercial camping is 3 or 4, there's a limit.
RV
3 or 4
park,
sites,
yeah.
that's an RV, that's a campground.
Yeah.
Once you get to that point, it's totally different.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of this?
Evidently, there's a big problem with campers popping up all over the place and people living in them and not having adequate facilities and,
How does this stop that?
I don't know.
Okay. If you got people putting campers on a lot that already has a primary residence and they're renting it out,
No,
and
these
people living in it,
campers going in on a lot with nothing else on it.
so what? Okay,
I'm just telling you what I hear, what's being fed to me.
Well,
Well, those. So, this is only under,
but you're talking about a camper.
so you can't, if you're providing a camper for a family member and it's beyond the 10 days, and there's no fee involved, why can't that happen?
yeah. Just go park it on.
There's no fee.
It's not a business.
Kick your brother out of the tent, you move into the tent, your brother stays in the bedroom, then you switch back the next day.
My brother,
It's
my
perfectly
brother's
legal.
divorced. He got kicked out of his house by his wife. He doesn't have a place to go. Okay, go buy a cheap camper on Craigslist and park it in the back.
If you guys don't want to do anything with it, that's fine with me.
Well, my guess is that it's, the spirit and of intent of these would be, I decide I'm gonna go buy a lot and then put a camper on it. And it's within a housing division, and somebody drives by, sees it, and I might just use it on the weekends, right? But I've just lowered the property value of my neighbors because I've got a
Well,
camp.
what's,
Hell, you wanna do that? Look at the junkyards all over the
There's
place.
two- yeah, yeah,
People with
places on
freaking
River
crap
Road.
in their yards. You wanna talk about property?
Oh, I
value?
know, yeah.
Deal with that first.
have that type of setup.
I don't think there's a lot of people doing that really in town. On an empty lot, putting them
I
out.
think I think there's probably better ways of doing
I can
what-
see, I can see
think-
needing some guidelines based upon someone wanting to invite as a revenue to come and camp on your property.
Yeah, well, that's a business.
And that's already addressed within the bylaw, I mean, the zoning concerning a campground. And you need those regulations, because you've got sanitary issues.
Yeah,
But if you're just
that's only
having,
like, if it's more than 3 campers, I think, right?
right, but even then, not 3 campers, but it could be 3 tents, right?
3 sites.
3 sites. So, where's this from, you said?
Belmont?
Belmont, okay.
Oh, Belmont,
I would like to know what the problem is before we,
even consider it.
before we go there.
Where's Belmont anyways, you know?
That's fine.
I had,
I mean,
I want to say it's something,
if it's for,
it's a
for,
bit north,
Should I email him and ask?
Yeah.
Okay.
but I don't,
a bit north means in the area. More attractive.
Zoning.
Go see the wild
enforcement.
campus.
Right, code
Where
enforcement.
This would be applicable, not in
I
Ware.
assume that's where they came from.
Ware may have been rural at one time, but it isn't anymore.
anything else?
yeah.
No.
Is this where we can make a motion to
No.
adjourn?
So Naomi, we have to, Bruce and I, Bruce has to get his ADU thing redone. I gotta do something with a private road, whatever I'm gonna do, and get it to you by the 6th.
Well,
Or the
no,
second.
you have to post it by the second if you're gonna do the 12th.
When do you want it? When do you need it?
You're gonna have to get it to me at the end of next week. Because we're
12:30.
closed Monday, but I can still post it on our website.
Okay.
So I can do that from home
So you
Next
need it,
Friday.
you need it Thursday or Friday next week?
next Friday, yeah.
So those are our 2 primaries.
And the village is just thing, we're gonna talk to Laura about that.
Yeah.
3.
4.
Position. Give a petition.
The
Yeah.
petition is 4, and then 5, we need to identify what we need to do with the Mount Dearborn article.
That just gets repealed. It's just a typing thing.
Yeah, we just have to remove it.
Yeah, we don't need to do anything with that, it's already
I know
happened
that,
at
but
town
that needs
meeting.
to happen.
Doing, driven through.
If we're gonna update, and that's the other thing, is that our zoning is 2019, we've already had changes 20 and 21 that have yet to be updated in that document. So that information needs to go, be
Yeah, it's not-
researched
Town
to,
clerk already came over and said, when are you gonna do that?
Do you have the zoning, the Word document for the whole zoning document?
I'd have to look.
I mean, I was very successful in just, I took that, what I did, I highlighted it as a PDF,
I got it.
pasted it into a Word
I
document,
got
and
it.
it went perfect.
I got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure, yeah, I got it.
We do have it because it's easier, it was formatted at one time. Probably have it, but tomorrow's not the day to look, cause I'll have 9,000 people looking to pay their taxes.
So, 8,999, I guess.
I'll have to pay mine now.
Residence number in Ware, you know?
so.
Bruce zoning, Tony, village, Laura, private roads.
Yeah. And
Wetlands are yours.
you need to.
ADU is yours. What?
The document for the first item of our minute, of our meeting tonight.
Yes. Decision,
Oh. Yes.
notice of decision.
So what do I have to do about that? Well, I'm glad I stepped down.
Is that what this performance agreement thing is?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay.
Well,
That's what
we're
you
gonna
gave
start
me.
with that, I get that, because Craig gave me that as a template, I think.
You didn't like it?
No, not at all. It doesn't have what it needs to have in it.
The one from Raymond.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. The one from Raymond's nice. The Goffstown one was horrible. I guess we're ready, Ray, if you wanna do it.
Oh, okay, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Oh, what?
We have a
Not yet.
motion, we have a motion on the table.
No,
We have a motion on the table.
It hasn't been
There's no
seconded.
I tried.
So there's an amendment request from the
Would you,
building inspector.
can you withdraw your motion, please?
I guess I withdraw my motion.
It's a bank pen.
They're free. What's that?
Well, our building inspector has requested that, he thinks that we seem to, this is another question for Laura, I don't think we need to. Do a planning board zoning amendment to upgrade our building code to the 2018. I don't think we need to.
Why don't we wait a couple months and use the 2021?
Because you won't have time to get it adopted. It has to go before town meeting, he asked Laura that. Last one we got is 2015.
There's some things in the 2018 that I don't like.
Well, I checked with Bruce Bennett today myself about the energy code part of it.
And the 2021 was,
We just hold on next year.
Is better.
yeah.
Says
We gotta pull
9,058
ourselves out of 7
on
years
the
ago.
website.
Didn't we just do this with Kelly, the 2015, is that what we did, 2015?
If you did it without going to town meeting, you didn't do it right. Has to go to town meeting. So we're gonna make it right.
Is that national building code?
No, state.
He's got,
State of New Hampshire.
he says international, whatever.
Some of them are international, but the state, it's the state of New Hampshire building code, the international,
What he's trying to do, and Laura hasn't looked at his writing, is once you adopt it, and the state, adopts a new one, he'd like that to slide in, but I don't think you can do that. Like you just said, if you adopt the 18s, and then the 21 passes or 22 passes, he'd like that one to take over, but I don't think, she told him you had to put it on the ballot.
I think there's a way to do it on the ballot one more time and be done with it, and then it automatically stays up with the state.
That's what he'd like to do.
Yeah, and I think there is a way to do that.
Okay, well, that would be the nice way. But it does have to go on, she said, to
So put it in the posting that that's gonna be one of the things we're gonna, the zoning change, I guess. That way we're covered, right? What don't you like in it?
Oh, it's a self-storage thing, that's all.
No.
2018, you got a sprinkler every 2,500 square feet.
No.
2021, you don't sprinkle anything.
No.
Well, why do you sprinkle self-storage building? The reason for sprinklers is to save lives. There's no lives in there.
There's no life
There's
in
a
it.
big door.
Yeah.
You can get out if it catches on fire. The whole reason for it is to save lives. It's not to save the building.
Now I think we do it.
No, not yet. So now you got me worried. Now you got me looking at something else. Oh, it's not there. Okay.
Take a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Ray seconded. Discussion. You can chime in, Paul. You can talk about things you want to. You know. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So am I contacting Laura about this too?